Hello there, toy collectors. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around, and I am very excited to bring you this special review. Hello there. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around. I'm a toy collector, toy photographer, and sometimes toy reviewer. And you're watching Unboxing Thursdays. I have a huge pile of toys that I need to open. So every week I sit down with a collector and chat about this hobby that we all know and love. And so I can get rid of all of these clunky boxes that are taking up space so I can, buy more toys. So if you're here, your first time here, consider subscribing because I do this every week. It's a lot of fun. If you're here, like the regulars, the Butter Nation, what's going on? I appreciate you. Make sure you share this. It all goes towards helping the channel. Last week had an amazing episode with D Amazing. We talked about a lot of fun stuff. Next week on February 18th, the crew of the ACBA podcast will be here chatting and opening toys. Nothing but illustrious guests. Okay. Today, I'm going to be opening toys with a multi-award-winning actor. He's a big Star Wars geek and a cosplayer. You've seen him on The Mandalorian and Kim's Convenience Season 5, which is on right now on CBC. It's Mr. Paul Sun-Hyung Lee. Paul.
How's it going, Kevin?
Hey, how are you, man? Thanks for coming on.
Oh, man, thanks so much for having me. I'm pretty excited.
I don't think anyone is more excited and also nervous as I am right now.
Why are you nervous, man?
You're in a Star Wars. You're like in it.
Yeah,
we all watch it, but you're in it.
I'm just a guy, just like you. Man, I'm kind of nervous to be here because like you're like the toy guy, right? Like you're.
I'm just a toy guy. I'm not the I'm a toy guy.
Well, just like me, I'm just a minor Star Wars guy.
Man, but because we all collect toys. People who watch all collect toys, and to know that well, I knew that you collect all this stuff. It's, you're in the hobby. Not many people do. So to see you're like, oh man, it's always cool to see somebody who's into the same kind of stuff and, they're on the screen.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, this is something that I've always kind of loved doing. It's been such a part of who I am throughout the years. I mean, and they're like certain lulls in time, like when I had no money, for example, and I couldn't collect as much as I would have liked to.
Okay.
With that, you take a bit of a break, and all the stuff that I had collected, like I had a massive vintage Star Wars collection from when I was a kid,
right,
and up through high school. And then when we moved from Calgary, Alberta, to come to Toronto, my parents were like, "What do we do with all this stuff?" And I said, "Well, please keep it." And they said, "Sure." Yeah. They said, "Sure, we will." And then they gave it all away.
Oh,
they gave away like my Millennium Falcon,
no,
Darth Vader action figure, like holding case, all my action figures.
Oh no,
the Star Destroyer mock-up playset. Yeah, the Scout Walker, the AT-AT, all that's gone. And yeah, it's stuff like that where you kind of go, oh, I really would have liked that still, like to hold on to that. And that kind of goes just because they thought, well, immigrant parents. He's not coming back. Get rid of that stuff. He gave it away, right? And they didn't throw it away. At least they didn't throw it away. They gave it to somebody's, like a friend of the family, their kids, right, who are younger.
But at least they're enjoying it.
Yeah, so they're enjoying it. And same with all my Lego. Like I had space Lego kind of at the yin yang, and again they got rid of all my Lego, which that hurt too, right? Space Lego, because that was the newest line that sort of came out in the 80s.
Right.
If you watch the Lego movie, there's that space.
Yeah.
Like that.
Benny guy.
Yeah, that was right from the original space Lego line. And
right,
man, that was an amazing set, because everything up until then for Lego had been like cars and buildings and kind of boring things, right? But space Lego was like you could construct kick-ass spaceships from that, which was awesome.
I think I have a whole bunch of those. Some of them light up, and then some had I think magnets.
Oh, see that's the next generation stuff.
That's later on.
The OG, like the reason why this Lego was special because there were angles like you could have angled pieces for like the to make the wings of the spacecraft, and it was blue and gray and branded with the space with like a planet with a little like Saturn
Right.
rings around it. And that was just such a departure for Lego at the time. And so that was like when you had that Lego, if you saw a kid with that Lego, you like, oh wow, his parents really, really love him or her. And I had like all this Battlestar Galactica stuff, like the vintage 1975, like the old cheesy Battlestar Galactica stuff. My Cylon Raider, my Colonial Viper, the other Colonial Viper wannabe thing, which was like a vehicle with wheels on it, but it had like the front cone section of a Viper. My Cylon Raider guy that fit into like all gone.
Damn.
So
I think you're blowing a lot of people's minds right now, but at the same time breaking their hearts.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, so those are those lulls and going to school and not having enough money to sort of do that, and having to pick between comic books and collectibles, right? And so you're trying to do, trying to do both is hard. And then in university, finally getting a job and getting a little bit of scratch and going to Silver Snail and looking at all the collectibles and going, oh, I'd really love to pick up that Space 1999 die-cast model Eagle, but I don't have $80 right now that I can spend on that. And then, flash forward to now, looking on eBay saying that same die-cast Eagle model that I saw, not even a model, that die-cast metal Eagle transport that I saw at Silver Snail for $80 like 20 years ago is now like $400 or $500.
Oh my gosh.
Box, and they go, all right, that's cool. It's cool, but it's nice. So you come in waves, right? And so now it's sort of like getting back into that wave because my kids are old enough now and they're not going to wreck my stuff. It's just rediscovering that passion again. And things have changed. Things have changed a lot when it comes to collecting, man.
The toy game is it's a whole new thing.
Yeah, you've got from even the old school cheapy stuff, like when I was growing up, the action figures, with the stiff arms and stuff, like Mattel and Hasbro, those are the only, or Kenner, those are the only real names in the game. And then later on, G.I. Joe with the articulated arms and the action grip and stuff. But now there are so many really great sort of molds and toy makers out there. It really is. And from a range from, somewhat affordable to super expensive, like with the Hot Toys, you've got that whole gamut of choice. And with that as well, the whole idea of collectability and scarcity, because certain, we all know certain things are hard to get. And if you don't scoop them up, or you don't know somebody who can get them for you, or if you're not on the ground floor with that, you pay a premium for something that should be readily available for everyone, right? So I find that really that part of the culture interesting now.
Yeah, it's very it's almost like some other hobbies out there, like shoe collecting or something. It's really
yeah.
You need a community. You need like a team, like a close-knit group to help you get all the stuff that you need.
Yeah, and it's not for the somebody who's just, if somebody sees, like, for example, the Ghostbuster shoes that were just dropped by Reebok a while ago, right? Like, for Joe Public, who never buys, who doesn't know how hard it's going to get to get these sneakers, they wait for it to drop on the website. Oh, I'll look at it. I'll get it. I'll get it the next day, and then they're sold out within minutes. And it's like, the sneakerheads, they know how to get them. They've got 4 or 5 different sites and different places that they go to. And, they're in tune with when they're going to drop, when they're going to be available, what sizes to look for, all these different things. They've got the hookup. And it's like that with toys now as well.
It's the whole culture for this stuff.
Yeah. That's a TV series. That's like a reality sort of docu-series that I would love to do as well. No, explore, because this is such a different culture. And I think it would really blow away like the general public if they knew how involved this can be, right? Because it's more than just a hobby now, right?
For sure. It kind of goes to what I was telling you beforehand. I got this new microphone today. My dad was over visiting my kids, and he's like, "What do you have that for?" I'm like, I'm doing an interview. With who? Hey, Kim's Convenience? Appa from there. Oh, what are you doing? We're opening toys. It's like, no, but like people do this. People watch, they collect all this stuff. We open stuff together. it's into it. Like people are into it. It's something to watch. It's
It's
just
legit. I think right now
yeah,
it's bona fide. It's legit, and there is. I mean, you could have just said to your dad too, like, why when he says, "Why do you have that microphone?" You could say, "For work." It kind of is like a job for you in a way, right? Like, I mean, you're doing it to enjoy yourself, but I mean,
yeah,
you're taking it seriously, and you're treating it like it's a profession, like it's a craft, right? Like because you want good lighting, you want good sound, you want a good product, right? You don't want
for
just
sure.
some sort of shaky. I've got my camera here, and I'm gonna put it here. Like you want production values with it, right? So you're approaching it
Yes,
like, and when I say work, I guess that's a bad example. You're approaching it with a higher standard, professional standards almost, right? And for me,
I
being
think so.
professional is being work is work, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? And so when you have that, if you have better lighting, better cameras, better mic, it's a better experience for people who are watching it. And at the end of the day, that's what you're doing is you're broadcasting it for people to enjoy, and they'll enjoy it more if they can see and hear you better.
Yeah,
So that's
for
a
sure.
great investment. And I think for anybody who's tuning in, thank you so much for watching a couple of nerds open up toys and talk about this because this is
Oh yeah, I forgot about the toys. I'm
yeah.
just I'm not even really I can't believe I'm here right now. But hey, everyone, thank you for tuning into Unboxing Thursdays. I'm here with Paul. I'm sure you already know where he's from. What would you tell people who for if somehow they don't know who you are right now?
I I just say, hey, I'm just a guy. I on a TV show called Kim's Convenience. I play the lead character in it. We're in season
Yep.
5. It's a fairly successful show. We're on CBC on Tuesday nights and on CBC Gem, and you can catch older seasons of the Kim's Convenience on Netflix. Yeah, I mean that's what I do, and I'm a nerd. Oh, I was also I'm an actor, so I'm on other shows too, and one of the shows that I was on that one of the bigger shows that I've been on recently was The Mandalorian, which is on Disney Plus, and that's a Star Wars show. Um, yeah, that's how I describe myself. It's a weird thing, um, because I never assume that people know who I am. I'll tell you a story of why. Uh, Life has a way of humbling you, and so I always never expect people to know who I am, or I think, well, you don't know who I am, because why would Um, there are people who do that, right? Like, and there are,
Right.
just like there are a number of people who are like, "Oh my God, it's you." There's the same number of people who just don't give a damn it's you either, right? They go, so,
That's true. Not
and,
everyone is into Mandalorian or
yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
And so I try not to make myself, you know, I'm no more special than anybody else. I get to do a job that I love, and I've been very
Mhm.
fortunate at doing, and I'm lucky that a lot of people like the shows that I'm in. And so I take that with a huge grain of amount of humility and gratitude because I before Kim's Convenience too, I was grinding it out, man. I was a day player. I was a character actor, a journeyman actor, little parts here and there, really, really wanting to do more, but the opportunities weren't there for me. And then this show hits, and suddenly at a later stage in my career, I'm getting this success. But I know what it's like to grind it out, and I know what it's like to be anonymous or to be working your ass off and having nobody notice it, which is fine. I mean, I'm still working, which is great. But I was on set one year, and this is Kim's Convenience,
Okay.
and we're shooting in Kensington in the before times, right, pre-pandemic, Kensington Market, and we're in I think it was our third season, and it's great because it's like a big family. So a lot of the crew they come back, and you see a lot of the same guys. And one of my big things is I love chatting with the crew and getting to know everybody. Like I ask everybody's name. We form friendships. I go around and say thank you to everybody at the end of every day,
That's
like
awesome.
everybody I can, yeah. And so I'm in costume, and I'm walking around. So I've got like the plaid shirt and the slippers and the dress pants, and I'm dressed as Appa, and I'm just chatting with the crew, and I'm just talking in my regular voice. On the show, I use an accent. It's my dad's voice, uh,
Right.
but in real life, I don't have one. Well, I do. It's a Canadian accent, and
Mine comes out on the show all the time.
yeah, yours does.
When I say about,
Oh yeah.
sometimes if I'm just talking, it goes about, and it's just like on TV, and it's terrible.
I've
But
never
it's
heard
okay.
that from a Canadian, to be honest. I always thought it was an over exaggeration.
Or like when I play baseball and I play infield, and if I call it out, I'd be like 1 out, and then I'll hear it.
Oh, yeah, you hear it
And
out.
they say it a little bit louder. I go, oh, 1 down, and then I'll just change it afterwards.
Love it. Hey, we got to talk about you playing baseball then too. which is
I
great.
know you're a Jays fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a total Jays fan. And
where were you when Jose Bautista hit that home run? What were you doing? Do you
I was at
remember?
home with my family watching the game on TV and losing our minds.
Amazing.
Because, before that happened, that horrible incident with Russell Martin throwing the ball, trying to just throw it back. And
when did that ever happen?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then, and then who was it? Was it Odor? Fucking Rougned Odor running in from third base and and that pissed me off so much because I hated him even before then, right? Like, just
you have to give props to him because he played until somebody said no. He made the right play. But you just hate him.
Yeah, well, hey, that's the thing. You hate the guy if he's not on your team, but if he's on your team, you want a guy like that who's going to stir the pot. But yeah, kudos to him. That's a smart baseball play. It stung because it was such a fluky play, right? And then, of course, the 7th inning happened, and they have a dedicated special on just that inning. Like Sportsnet will just play that inning, and it takes over an hour. Yeah, and it's fantastic because it's got. If you're a Jays fan, it's awesome. Yeah. If you're a Texas fan, not so much, but too bad for them. But getting back to it, so I'm talking with the crew and I'm walking around and I'm talking to the guys. And when we're shooting on location, we often have an expanded crew because we're not in studio. And when you're on location, it's like going camping. You have to bring everything with you because you never know what you might need when you're on set, when you're out there, as opposed to in studio, we have storage. So we have extra grips, extra ADs. Those are assistant directors, all these extra people who aren't normally with the show. And so we're there, and I'm saying hi to all the gang because they'd been working on a feature film, and a lot of the crew had just come back from working on that feature. There was like a week overlap. I was catching up with them, and then there was an AD came up, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going? What's your name?" "I'm Paul." And I shook her hand. She said, "Hi, I can't remember her. I think she said her name was Jennifer." I said, "Hey, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your hard work." She's like, "Great." And she stops and looks at me and she goes, "Who are you?" And the grips, all the grips who are friends with me now, they lose their minds. They laugh so loud. And then one goes, "Sweetheart, that's the lead of the show." And then she immediately gets all flustered. She goes, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I say, "Hey, it's cool. Like, why would you know who I am? I don't have a name tag on. If you don't watch the show, you don't know." But it's a great reminder that, even on your own show, the show that you're on, and with all the people that there's going to be somebody who doesn't know who you are, and you don't take that personally. It's just, it is what it is, right? So, I don't know how we got on that.
Yeah, I don't know,
It's
but that's a long
story.
That's why I like having people on. Everyone comes from different walks of life. They do different things when they're collecting toys. Some people make dioramas. Some people take pictures. Some people collect mint on card. They don't open things, but they all have a different story that they can bring to the table. So while we're technically here opening toys, I just like the conversation that I can have. But we should see what kind of toys do you have for us today?
Yeah,
that you're excited to open.
All right, so I got this. I've been sitting on this. This is, I don't know, the glare on that. There we go. Focus. I gotta hide my face because of the autofocus.
Sideshow bust?
No, it's a.
No, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It is a Gentle Giant Diamond Select 1/6 scale mini bust.
Cool.
The Mandalorian. Now, this was sent to me from Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni sent me a nice care package. Well, his wife did. Anne Convery.
You could just left it at the first part, but that's cool.
No, Anne is fantastic. Dave's wife is fantastic. Dave admittedly is terrible at gift giving. He says that himself, which is great. And I love him for that. Like, no, he's fantastic. So he sent me this, a couple of busts. So I grabbed one right here.
Beautiful.
It's been sitting there, and yeah, how I thought this would be very appropriate to open this here. And
very generous super chat from Fabsray says, as someone in that grind, mad respect to Paul and kudos for his role in Buck. I mean the Mandalorian. Doing a great job, Kev. Thanks, buddy. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. And of course, Dave Filoni was not a co-pilot, your partner, I guess.
Yeah, no, he was my wingman, my subordinate, as it were.
Oh, really?
Because I'm captain and he is not. And it was something that Filoni, Dave joked about. He said, "Hey, well, you're my superior officer, so you're ordering me around." I'm like, "Oh yeah." That's cool. That's so cool. And another thing is too, because Dave hates being in front of camera, which is hilarious.
Right.
He originally he wanted Deb Chow to play my wingman on during that episode, but Deborah Chow, who also played a rebel pilot in season 1, if anybody remembers that, her character's name was Sash Ketter. So it was her, Rick Famuyiwa, and Dave Filoni had cameo roles as
Right.
Republic fighter pilots during that episode, where the Mandalorian they break into that New Republic's prison ship to free a Twi'lek prisoner by the name of Quinn. And yeah, so they come over and they destroy basically the base at the end where Mandalorian escapes and sort of screws over the guys that tried to screw him over. But he wanted Deborah Chow to be my wingman in the episode that I was in for season 2. But Deborah, who's a very talented director, it was busy shooting or prepping the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So she was unavailable for that. And I think she kind of chastised Dave too. Half jokingly, it was like, she said, Dave, can't put all the Asians together in Star Wars all the time. So I thought it was really funny. But it was cool to hang with Dave because he's a fantastic guy. And that was like such an honor that he would step in and play that role. And we got to see some really cool sort of artwork done up for his character because Dave Filoni, in season 1, he had like a generic New Republic sort of flight helmet with the blue and gold stars and the Rebel, the Starbird symbol.
Yes.
For season 2, he got his custom made Trapper Wolf gray helmet, and that's the first sort of non-white helmet I think I remember seeing in any sort of televised or film version of Star Wars. Other than Poe Dameron's, of course, but his was all gray with a black chin cup, and usually they're all white with a white chin cup, and so that was great. And you got to see the actual. There you go. That's the first time there isn't any real white as a primary color. Is that a Black Series or is that a?
Yeah, Black Series.
Nice. How's that fit on your head? Is that small?
It's a little tight, but there's like the little padding that has Velcro that you can remove.
Yeah.
Here, let's go. Who cares about the hair, right?
Yeah. Oh, and the visor does pop up and down. That's pretty cool. All right. Excellent. Because I find that the Black Series, they're really great. Like I got this sent to me by a friend. It's the Red 5 Black Series helmet here. And it's great, but it runs a bit on the small side.
Oh, really?
All of them do. Even the Boba Fett one, the 40th anniversary Boba Fett Black Series helmet here. This one, they run just a little bit smaller for packaging. And that's the thing.
Okay.
Darth Vader one, just a little bit smaller for packaging. So these, I mean, I've got a big fat head too, right? Like I've got a pretty fat head. And so I can barely get them on, but it's like I wouldn't want to wear it for hours at a time. But that's the thing about Black Series is just that they're for little ones or for people with smaller heads.
For people who don't know, Paul also has his own YouTube channel where he does also unboxings of other Star Wars memorabilia and things like this. So I thought it was super cool that just like, hey, I kind of do that. Let's do it together. Let's open some stuff.
But you live stream it. And I think I haven't live streamed yet. This is, I've been on live streams, but I think you're doing a great job, Kevin. I mean, this is fantastic. No, kudos to you, but like you have people who are watching, you have followers. They're obviously they're enjoying what you're doing, right? And you've done like you're saying 37?
Yeah, this is week 37, man.
It's amazing. That's such an accomplishment. You should be so proud, man.
I know if my mom messaged me earlier, she said, "What is this thing you're doing tonight at 9:00?" I said it's a stream on YouTube. So if she's watching right now, she's probably thinking 37 weeks times however many toys over 2 hours and just shaking their heads.
No, you're providing a source of joy during a pandemic where a lot of people are scrambling for content. And people can't go out right now. because we're supposed to stay home and be safe.
Right.
So they're looking for different ways to sort of to find joy, but also to get information. And I think that's why a lot of these unboxing videos are so popular is you can vicariously through somebody else see the product before you get a chance to buy it, right?
Yeah.
My kids love that. I love it too, because then you look at it and you go, oh, so that's what's in. Is it worth it? And you get like a review a lot of times at the same time. So who's that? Going Geek TV.
This is my friend Bjorn from Singapore. He loves Kim's Convenience. He's been messaging me. He says he was upset that he might not be able to catch it live because it is Chinese New Year right now on the other side of the planet. So Bjorn, Sunley and Phylock, Happy New Year. Happy Lunar New Year to everyone who celebrates. He says, Appa Sneak Attack. Big love and major fan from Singapore. Okay,
Thanks,
see you.
Bjorn.
I think you just made his day.
No, how
That's
about
awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, see you.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
That's a new voice.
I'm very judicious. I save those. So it's a very special occasion when I bring out when I use the voice.
You hear that, buddy? You owe me one, Bjorn. So you've got the bust.
Yeah, and I have this came. Now this was it was an Amazon exclusive, and it is the Black Series Mandalorian. It's the Scout Trooper with child.
Amazing.
And now apparently there's a variant of this as well, and it's like there's one with this one's got the blaster in the holster.
Yes,
there's a variant where the blaster separate, and it's got its own little place for it, where a slot for it where it's put in. So I've been reading on the forums. People are scrambling to try to get both versions.
Right.
And I find that's really cool. Like something, well, a bit infuriating at the same time too, because if you're a completist and you want to get both versions, it's like the variant comic books where it's the same book, same comic book. It's just got 4 different covers. So you have to buy 4 different versions of it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a production run change.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, but they have to have it. Like it's a variant, like it's something different.
And I think for this one, they did have a previous run of just the Scout Trooper on a bike, and it's probably the same mold.
And
they just added the child in a bag, or Grogu, or Baby Yoda.
They just changed some paint apps on it.
Yeah.
If one of my friends or family tunes in right now and they just see 2 grown men be like, and then on some packaging the gun is over here, and they're just like, oh, there goes that nerd Kevin again. But at least you're here, so you're like, making this cool.
Yeah, or I've dropped in their opinion. Very, very well, right?
No way.
That's all right.
No way.
That's all right.
We have a lot of people in here right now, more than I've had than last week. Hasbro was very cool to send over some stuff. I wanted to do a giveaway, so thank you. The first one I'm going to do, it's going to be a trivia. Let me switch to me. And Paul, I don't think you're eligible.
Oh man.
So after I type go, this is the prize. It is a vintage collection remnant stormtrooper carbonized graphite. I don't know if there's any different editions. I don't know if I do 3.75, but yeah. The trivia question is, and then you type the answer after I type go. It is, what form of martial arts does Appa practice on Kim's Convenience? Have at it. The mods are going to check it out. They're going to... Oh, I should probably send them the answer. What would you like to open first? What are you most excited about while that goes on?
Oh, let's open up this Diamond Select 1/6 scale minibus of the Mandalorian from
Sweet
Giant Limited. Now I'm an opener. There's a group of people out there who love mint in box, and I get it. I just get it. Like I get it, and there's that allure as well. People can't stand.
Are you both?
Box. I'm both. It's as the wind blows.
Okay,
and
cool.
I find myself at times double dipping because there's something about that mint box that just,
for sure.
You kind of go, but then there's another part of me is like, but I need to play with it. Like I need to take it. I need to physically touch something and just you know, to experience it, because it's kind of a shame that it's kept in a box too. So I get both sides of it.
That's kind of why I need to do this, because there's so much stuff unopened, but I do like packaging.
Yeah.
But once I've released it, I feel like it's you know, you can kind of let it go. You can let that box go.
Now, but sometimes the boxes are so pretty. I'm serious. Like the artwork on it is really spectacular. I mean, now with the new Black Series, they've got the art on the side. Yeah. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's
But
just
you don't want to be that guy who just has all the pictures up on a wall. Well, I don't want to be. I want to open them up.
Yeah, no, I get it. And true enough, like I'm the same way, but it's still like and then I was online. It was so funny because somebody had just opened up all their Black Series helmets. So there was a Darth Vader, a Red 5, I think they had a Poe Dameron, and they had a Boba Fett, and they're like, well, getting rid of the boxes, and they had all the boxes folded up and getting ready to throw them out. And there was this huge online discussion about, don't throw them out. You can sell them. You can sell them online for like $10 a pop. Somebody will buy them. Or
that's not worth the effort, is it?
Well, no, I guess not. If you sell them in a lot, though, if you go, I've got all 5 of these. If you want one, you got to buy them all, and it's $50.
That's crazy.
Somebody might grab it, but I don't know. There's something. Hey, I have trouble throwing away Amazon boxes sometimes because I'm of the age where it's like, that's a good box.
Yeah, you can reuse it.
Put something in that. Yeah, exactly. I might be able to put something in that box. And so you have a fire hazard in the basement.
Oh my God.
Afraid of throwing out boxes. And finally, my wife looked at me and said, we have to get rid of these or we will die. I said,
if you could only see right there. Oh boy.
So, but what happens, right? We broke them all down. We put them out for recycling. They went. And what happened the next day? We needed a box. And they were all gone. They're all gone. I was like, fuck, come on. So,
this could be a Kim's storyline. I could see Appa and Oma be like, now we need a box.
So, okay, I just opened it up. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
There's a beautiful, there's a card inside. It is, I'm going to hide my face. Otherwise, the autofocus isn't going to work. Come on.
Closer to you?
It's the autofocus on. Anyways, it's a Mandalorian, and it is a limited edition number. So it's number 1913 of 3000. So it's actually, come on.
I think it might be too close.
Not gonna work.
Spider Francis, thank you for the super chat. He says, just discovered the channel, but I'm a big fan of Paul. I hope to see more of you in Star Wars in the future.
Oh, thanks, Spider Francis. You and me both.
I'm sure.
You and me both. I would not say no to doing Star Wars. So not only is there a card with a handwritten number on it, the packaging itself has a label on it with a number, 1913 of 3000. So I'm just past the halfway point.
Do you care about the low numbering, high number?
No, I mean, it is what it is. You get what you get. I mean, unless you get number 1, or right in the middle, or the end, doesn't really matter, right?
So then this one you can get rid of the box. It's 1900.
Yeah, it's number 1900. It's limited. Only 3,000 of these were made. I get a kick out of that.
Albert, thank you very much for the generous super chat. He says, there goes that nerd, Kevin. Man, you made me read that out loud, Albert. And your family. Come on, buddy. There goes that nerd, Kevin, again.
All right. And of course, it's taped. So I've got to get this.
1 to rock, 1 to stock. When you buy an extra.
Yeah. I hear that. I've also heard, I've met people who buy 3 now. 1 to rock, 1 to stock, and 1 to get signed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I
can see that. I did that with this. Do you have one of these?
Was that Shang-Chi? Yes. That is cool. That's not Simu though. That's a pretty. I saw that. Oh, you even have it in a box.
It's not Simu, but he did sign it. Did he? Double autograph. There's one here and one here.
Ah, wow. Now, did you send it away to him, or did you sign it in person?
I coach basketball with the CCYAA.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Which he does work. He does work with them, and he was in the tournament. And some awesome friends of mine in there were able to hook that up. Oh, the winner, according to my moderator, is Kyle. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, sir, Kyle, but congratulations. The correct answer is Hapkido.
Yes.
Feel free to message me on Instagram if you have Instagram. It's instagram.com/toyingaround. And send me a DM there. I'll hook you up with this Remnant Trooper.
So this you can't see because maybe a little bit. The styrofoam is very pretty. It's got the embossed, the printed Star Wars on it, so it's fancy styrofoam.
No, now you have to keep the foam, man.
It's brutal, isn't it? You know, I'll keep the boxes for. I'll go. Well, what if we move? I can't put this stuff in loose shit. I got to keep the boxes to put it back in if we move, or if the whole. Oh, what if I sell it? If I sell it and I put it like I'll have it. It can, I can say, well, it's got the original box. Yeah.
That definitely helps out certain things.
Yeah, but I always say I'm gonna sell. Like if I sell it, but I never sell any of my stuff. I know it's mine forever. I had trouble letting go of boxes. That's an age. Hey, other things too, like laptops, iPhone boxes. I have like 4 or 5 iPhone boxes because I can't throw away the package because it's so pretty. And it's also like, well, what if we sell the old iPhone?
Yeah, I think iPhone boxes it's not too much space. They're pretty compact.
Yeah.
They have the manuals that no one's ever read in the history of iPhones.
And the stickers.
Yeah, the stickers. But yeah, if you sell it with a box, it looks a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Clockwork, what's going on? Thank you very much. He says, loving this dynamic. Good job, Kevin. Keep it up, Paul. You rock, from Carlos.
Oh, thank you, Carlos.
Carlos out in California. Well, I've got I've got some cool stuff to open, which I kind of saved because it was Star Wars themed.
Nice.
This is the Star Wars Black Series Moff Gideon.
Yes. Beauty.
And I'm very excited to get that Darksaber out of there and out of the packaging. You were on screen with Mr. Carl Weathers.
Yes, sir.
Grief Karga. He directed your episode, right?
Yeah, no, he's an icon, Carl.
Oh, absolutely.
He's OG Hollywood royalty. Like, I can't believe how effortlessly cool he is. He's just like, you sit there and he's like, that's Carl Weathers. And he's played so many iconic roles, from Apollo Creed to himself, a version of himself in Arrested Development, right?
Oh, you watched Arrested?
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh.
None of the new things on. I haven't seen the fourth season on Amazon, or when it got brought back, or Netflix, for whatever reason. It was just like we were so excited. We're like, yeah, we're gonna watch it, and we just never got around to watching it.
I don't think I finished it, but it doesn't have the same feel. The first 2-3 seasons, like the original Fox ones, I've watched over and over.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, how like the episode ends and then they go on the next episode, and you think it's like a preview, but they have like new footage.
Yeah.
It's not like actual like previews. My fiance didn't know that, so she skipped all of those for the entire series. And then she said, wait, there's more stuff? I said, yeah, why didn't you wait? She goes, I don't like waiting for those. And then there was a pause, and I could see the thought in her head, and she's like, well, I'm not going back to watch all of those again. So there's a whole bunch of stuff she hasn't seen in those.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Okay, so it's in a bag that's embedded in the styrofoam, which is cool. The silica packets, they're good to put in your coffee if you want to.
No, please.
Just kidding.
Please,
don't eat these. Don't eat these, because with me they have a warning. No, don't eat these. They're desiccant gels. You watch that episode of Seinfeld. Accident. I'm all dry inside, which is a comedic way of looking at dying. Don't I know? But I would hope you would have a warning saying, please don't eat those things. We must have progressed to a point there. Oh, look, there's 3 of them. They're really worried about dry.
Is it like a cloth cape or something?
I'm gonna open it up right now. It's heavy. It's heavy. Oh, look at that.
What's up, Ernie, buddy? I love you, man. He says so proud of you. He loves Star Wars too.
Nice.
Shout out to the Fallen Fett. I'm always on his case. I said Boba Fett wasn't that badass until season 2 of Mandalorian. How do you feel about that statement?
Agreed, 100%. I thought he was the biggest, lamest character. Like he had
No,
cool armor, but that was it.
are you saying this to be nice, or are you?
No. I totally believe that. Like that whole there was a guy that went on a rant, and I was just like, yes, testify, because he was pretty lame. Like he caught Han Solo by sneaking around, but he had all the stormtroopers really take care of that on Bespin. Let's be honest. Then he complained about, oh, what if he dies? He's worth a lot to me alive. And like Vader pushed him around, and then how does he die? Like, or how did he get killed, or like gotten taken care of on Jabba's bar on the skiff? He got like a blind dude, a handcuffed Wookiee, and a guy hanging off a cable got rid of him. He's like, yeah, but he wrapped Luke Skywalker around with that cable. Like, no, man, he got knocked into Sarlacc, and they burped on him. I mean, it was terrible.
This is the best day of my life. Oh my god.
No, but look, you know what? And this is what I love about the Mandalorian is they retcon everything and they make him the badass he was supposed to be. Like, not only did he crawl out of the gullet of the Sarlacc and survive all those years, he reclaimed his armor and leave it to Robert Rodriguez to make him that action sequence where he takes out that platoon of stormtroopers is so brutal.
Yeah.
And that's,
you feel every hit with that stick when he swings it on those guys.
Just so visceral. Like the one he gut punches and then rocket blasts across the field. It's like, that's just like, he's got a lot of pent up anger. And so I think that was the fet that I think everybody thinks was in the movies, but so wasn't. Because the Boba Fett we saw in the movies, you know, the actor Jeremy Bulloch, who just passed away, you know, rest in peace. There's a set shot of him, and he's got his helmet off, and he's got spectacles on, and it's like a dude in full Boba Fett armor with like old man glasses on.
Yeah,
more like a librarian, and you kind of go, yeah, well, Boba Fett in the movies was kind of like that. Kind of was, you know, galaxy's most feared bounty hunter. He got hit with a stick and flew into the Sarlacc stomach. That's
oh my god. A friend of mine, Plasti Addicto, usually does highlights for people who do live streams. Like when this is over,
right?
He absolutely needs to just take that segment right there, and I will post it everywhere. My goodness, you might lose some Star Wars fans.
No. Hey, you know, truth hurts. The truth hurts sometimes. It's just my opinion, though. That's my opinion, and I'm not. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. If you love Boba Fett, hey, that's awesome. I just thought he was, and this is me. I just thought the character was overblown. He had cool armor. That's about it. But I think he's more than redeemed. He's going to be this supreme badass. Book of Boba Fett. I can't wait to do that. Like total redemption in the Mandalorian TV series. And I get it. It's in a feature film where the main characters have to be the focus, you can't focus on the guy who's got the cool armor all the time, right? So, you know, this is why he suffered from plot armor, a lack of it, right? And that's why he had to be bumped off in a very quick manner. But that being said, here's another Mandalorian that actually has from the very beginning. It's a beautiful, the detailing on it's great. He's got his the flame coming out of his gauntlet there, his little flamethrower. He's got his blaster pistol, which is absolutely gorgeous. The detailing is nice, really, really nice. Like the paint job on this is fantastic. The cape is not cloth; it's sculpted. So this is 100% a sculpt. It has a beautiful writing on the base as well. Star Wars. My camera won't focus on it. And again, it's got the limited edition number 1,913 out of 3,000, right on the bottom. So there's a certificate of authenticity. There's a sticker on the box, and it's written on the base, so it's legit.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, and again, this is a gift from my friend Dave Filoni for Christmas. So thank you, Dave. Thank you so much.
Was your scene with in the ice cave?
Yeah.
Was that with Pedro Pascal or one of the other stunt guys?
No one was there. They had shot Pedro's stuff months before. And so I was saying my lines to a projected screen.
Oh,
No one was there. No one was there. But that's the way it works sometimes. Sometimes the coverage, it's like that. You gotta based on people's schedules and availability. Yeah. So I didn't.
and now the magic is gone. No,
Just shows you how good of an acting job everybody did.
oh my god, I had the chills when you were delivering that line, man.
Oh,
When
thank you.
when he was asking you for help.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Appa's a badass. He's
I
so
love
cool.
I loved it because that was my second episode that we shot. So it was episode 2, but we
Right.
shot it after I shot the episode 4. So they shoot it out of order. And I'd found the character by that point. Like I was feeling a lot more, oh, look at you, you're fast. No ceremony at all, right? Just rip it out of the box. There he is. There he is.
It's very rough. I mean, it's 37 weeks. I don't have time for the styrofoam anymore. It's just I've done worse. I've ripped the Black Series right from the front of the packaging, right out, like tearing out a man's heart. So
yeah, that's like you skip the foreplay altogether and just go straight into it, right? Like there's got to be a little bit of an anticipation. You whet the appetite, but oh no, just
I don't open until Thursday. Like the rest of the week, I leave it. So that's my anticipation.
But you have like boxes and boxes of stuff just waiting.
Yeah, I don't touch it. This is the reason that's why there's content.
But like, do you keep adding to that pile, or is that pile like, is there a meticulous way, or are you just going for it at whatever arrives that week? Does stuff get bumped off that list and pushed to another time?
Oh yeah, new stuff.
Okay, so
new
it's
stuff
all new
like
stuff you open to stay current.
Yeah, there is some good old stuff in there.
Right.
I'm looking at it right now, but you've seen it earlier. There hasn't been much movement in 37 weeks. Oh my goodness.
Well, because you keep adding to it.
But there's so much good stuff. Like you said, this is the new age of like toys. There's more different companies have licenses for like, one franchise will have different licenses for different toy companies to make different products, and there's so many variations for the collector, or you have kids. There's some stuff for your kids that you can get that you're also into. I know I have some of that too. It's
just for me. They can fend them for themselves. This is I work for my money. It's funny. The other day we were playing because we have a TV down here in the basement, a TV upstairs. The TV upstairs is a 4K TV. I like 4K sports, 4K movies. We got a PS5. I was lucky, got a PS5, and it's upstairs, and an Xbox Series X, which is upstairs as well. And the old Xbox One is downstairs. Now, before anybody thinks I'm crazy, I pre-ordered the Xbox Series X way before we're an Xbox family. We've always had it. The PS5 kind of fell in our laps. I had to pay for it, but after that initial insane run where everything got sold out, a neighbor of mine actually said, hey, I think Walmart, I read somewhere Walmart was going to have another pre-sale and they were going to release some. Do you want me to get one for you if I can? I was like, yeah, totally thinking he would not be able to score it for me. And he did. So I was committed because I said, yeah, and he bought it. And so I immediately was like, oh, okay. And having to explain to my wife why I had both cutting edge consoles all of a sudden was an interesting feat in logistics. But the thing is, so my kids now, my biggest thing I have a 16-year-old and 11-year-old. They like to, now they can play on, it's like having their own LAN party, right? One's in the basement, one's upstairs. And they were like, oh yeah, we can play and this and that. And I said, whoa, guys, the hockey game's on. I want to watch the game. And my eldest goes, yeah, you can just watch it on your laptop though, right, Dad? And I'm like, yes, you're right. That's why I work my ass off so I can get a 4K TV with high def 4K sports so I can watch it on my laptop. Thank you.
So they can play Minecraft.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that and or GTA 5, which they have discovered is it's very funny watching them play that, because you can plan these elaborate heists and you can grab things. They knock over convenience stores and run each other over.
Oh no.
So is that a molded cape?
Yeah, it is.
Can you remove it, or is it just like it's
there's one little peg in the back. There's a hole here in the back of the armor. and it actually stays in pretty well compared to some other Black Series capes. But who did you not get a chance to do a scene with in season 2 that you hoped Carson would have met?
Oh my God, all of them. No,
Oh,
Pedro. I mean, I did a scene with the Mandalorian, but he wasn't actually there.
right.
That would have been really, really cool. I think I got a chance to chat with Pedro, Mr. Pascal, while I was waiting for my scene to be shot.
Cool.
Yeah, that was really, really cool, and it's hilarious. And Horatio Sands was there, and he was in full mithril makeup, right? So he had the latex on, and he's there, and I knew his name was Horatio, but I didn't know it's like the only Horatio that I know of in show business is Horatio Sands, and I was like, I think it's him, but I can't really tell because the call sheet everybody's got a code name, and so the real names aren't there. I'm thinking, is this Horatio Sands? Like, fantastic comedian, great actor, Horatio Sands.
Was he Mad TV or SNL?
SNL.
SNL.
Yeah,
right.
SNL. And so it was hilarious because I remember he was on his cell phone and trying to talk through this little ear hole in the latex. And I just started talking about the cooling system in his suit. Because I said, like I could see some tubing running through it. I said, are you wearing a cooling vest? He's like, yeah. So we started talking about how that works because it gets explosively hot under all latex. But now they have the technology to sort of, if you've ever watched Tested, Adam Savage's channel, he's got when he goes out and cosplays in those heavy outfits, he'll have a cooling vest and it pumps ice salt water through it to keep him cool. And so Horatio had that, which is really neat. So talking with him and Pedro Pascal, who was super generous, really, really outgoing. Like just, what they say, never meet your heroes because they can be assholes. Like he was not. He was not like that at all. And no, it was great chatting with him too. And you know what?
One of mine right now, and I'm glad you're not an asshole.
Well, night's not over yet, Kevin. You never know, right? I still got time. Right? I better start opening this. See, that's the thing. This is what Fung says about me, dude. Andrew Fung. The reason why I don't get a lot done at cons, like in terms of going out and finding things, is I talk too much. And I can't. Like I go no, and people stop me, and I'll chat with them, and it's just like, oh yeah, and I get not stuck, but I don't want to interrupt people and say I gotta go. Like I hate doing that. So I end up just losing my time, which is fine. But then I come back with nothing, and I'm late. Like I'll come back 10 minutes late. It's like you should have been here 10 minutes ago, and you come back empty-handed. Whereas Fung comes back 5 minutes early, and he's got like 5 garbage bags full of like action figures and different loose toys that he's been able to seek. And he says, it's because I have a mission. I keep my head down and I go and I get what I need and I'm gone. Like, good for you. Super jealous.
I could see that sounded like a Kimchi impersonation there. The way you said it, I could hear him saying.
Yeah, no, I do that a lot. I do. I copy his voice. Yeah, because I love him. One of my best friends on set and in real life.
That's awesome.
Honestly, he's a super guy.
Bjorn is back. He says, I'm super fanboying that you did the voice, Paul. Quick question. Did you actually get in an X-Wing? And you already talked about Pedro, Mr. Pascal.
Yes. Bjorn, you're welcome. Any friend of Kevin's. The X-Wing, it was cool because there was they had a mock-up, not of the full thing, but of the cone of the X-Wing. And it was from Rogue One. They'd repurposed it. A lot of the stuff that you see on the Mandalorian came from a lot of the feature films. Like they just pass it down because they have them in storage.
So
and it makes
cool.
sense from a financial point of view that they would keep all this stuff because it was made specifically for the movies. And so I was sitting in the cockpit that they used for the space battle scenes, the Battle of Scarif, and also the bombing run on Edo. The cockpits that the Rebel pilots flew in for that. That was really cool. And I was in the volume. And for those of you who don't know, the volume is literally it is the set of the future. It's a studio set that is 360 LED screens and on the ceiling as well, and they project a high def image of a location. And the Unreal Engine for that to create the different terrains and the light controllability is amazing. And so they created a starfield, and so I'm in this cockpit in costume, and they have a projection of the Razor Crest on my right-hand side, and on the other side of that is the other X-Wing that Dave Filoni's character is flying. And so as an actor, it's like fully immersive. You don't have to, it's gone are the days when you're staring at a tennis ball on a stick, right? Like, yeah, pretend that's the character now. It's like, yes, I can do that. It's those days are pretty much gone. And it is while
no
I was
technology.
Yeah, no, it's while I was sitting in the cockpit, the guys at the and they call it the brain bar. Those are the crew that control what's going on with the volume. They got the Starfield to do this, and it felt like I was getting jostled back and forth, and I wasn't actually moving.
Right.
I know the cockpit is bolted to the ground. It's got brakes on. It's not moving, but because that's doing that, you feel it's better than any ride at Epcot or Disney or anything else like that. It's just going, yeah, no, it's phenomenal.
You know, sometimes when you're looking back and you're going to reverse your car, and then the car next to you starts to go.
Yeah.
And then you're for a brief second, you're like, oh my God, why am I moving? I'm not moving yet. And then you realize it's that car. Imagine it's like at that times a million.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it makes it super easy to light for the crew. The DOPs love it because they don't have to worry about, I mean, it's so prescriptive in terms of where they want their levels to be at, and they can be very, very precise with it. I'm having trouble opening this box because I don't want to rip it. And I've cut the tape. And there's a part of me is like, no, you gotta just yank it. But I'm just
you see this window right here?
Yeah.
You can kind of get your finger in there, and the whole thing just comes right out the front. You should try it.
No. This is too big. Right now. And I'm trying to get I've got I can get my.
Yeah, the new boxes have a new folding.
Yeah, they lock in, those bastards. Yeah, they did it. Oh no, I've bent it. I've ruined it now. That a part of me actually did die when that happened.
That's great.
Here we go. Okay, see that. It's gonna slide out now. Oh, here we go. Oh, and it's out.
Fidelity.
It's out.
Thank you for the super chat. And you don't have to answer anything that is classified. What he says, what are the chances of seeing your character as an action figure? I know if I saw one, I would definitely buy it. Would you buy duplicates of yourself?
Yes. Absolutely. Are you kidding? How often is it going to be that you get an action figure based on a character that you play?
Oh man.
I have some fans have actually I'm going to go grab them in a second, but they've done custom figs of me. And that's like that is so flattering, man. That's amazing. And I actually have a couple of other friends. We're getting 3.75 scale, like the old school stiff arm versions of myself and Trapper Wolf, Dave Filoni's character, that I commissioned them to make for Christmas.
Oh wow!
We're gonna sell it. We're gonna package it in a double pack, bubble kit with a card, and I'm gonna send one to Filoni. Shit, that was a surprise. I think I just ruined it.
I don't think he's watching.
No, but if anybody who knows Dave or is watching, any Disney people who are looking at it, shh, don't say anything. Don't ruin the surprise. Okay. So here it is. Oh, look, it's the background, the back card. That's beautiful. And now there's like are there sheets that usually come? Like this is like a one series.
It's like this is like the instruction booklet for the iPhone that no one ever reads. This is the equivalent of that.
That is so. Warning: choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years old. I'll show them who's going to choke on what.
Look up and half the figures in my mouth.
That's a cool. What? Oh, it's got these lovely elastic thingies to hold it in place now.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I spent 10 minutes on this episode trying to take those snaps off of a figure.
Oh,
it's very professional.
You don't have little clippers?
I do. Yes. You are also into 3D printing, another hobby of mine, which I thought was super cool. And you always get these nippers when you buy printers and stuff. So I do use that.
Yes.
And you are a cosplayer.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yes.
And I'm going to throw this up right there. Oh, look at that. I have it ready. First of all, this is probably the most photogenic Imperial officer that I've ever seen. You can see there's like a light in reflection in your eye. This looks like professionally done.
That was by a professional photographer actually at Calgary Fan Expo.
So when did you start cosplaying?
I got really into it. It's so funny. It was 30th anniversary of Ghostbusters, so it would have been 2014. I got back into it. I was making a proton pack
Right.
on tour, and I was making a proton pack because I was hitting kind of a midlife crisis. And so instead of buying a motorcycle or a car and working on it, in the garage, I was like, I've always wanted a proton pack, so I want to build one. So I built it based off of plans I got on GB Fans, which is a website, and I made it out of foam core and Sintra. That was a complete scratch build where I made every part myself, basically. And it was cool, but it wasn't 100% what I wanted. Like I wanted working lights, I wanted sound, and I wasn't smart enough to really do that. Get all that stuff together. And of course, when you have the proton pack, you need the uniform as well.
Right.
And that's what got me. So when I got the Ghostbusters outfit, like I went and I sourced the jumpsuit for it, the boots, tried to get the belt, the elbow pads, the patches, and everything needed to be right. Like I didn't want to get a Ruby's sort of off the shelf, jumpsuit, and you can get those, and those are great. But yeah, there it is. So that's my and so that's a second proton pack I built, and that one's more of that's the Cadillac version. That's the fiberglass shell, all aluminum parts and greeblies, real world clippered valves, and aluminum brass fittings. The particle thrower is all metal, and it's got full lights and sound, and it's also got in the end filter on the very bottom is kind of cut off by by Berserk's message there. Is a smoke machine, like an e-cig smoke machine that vents out marshmallow flavored or smelling vape without the nicotine, of course. And so that was my first sort of foray. And then those two slugs in the middle there, that's my eldest son, Noah, and my youngest, Miles. And that was the Halloween 2017.
Did you build those?
I did not fabricate them, but I did build them. I put them together. And there's something I think people need to know: fabrication versus actual kit building. I had a lot of friends who thought I'd actually pulled the molds and sculpted them myself. No, I did not. These are kits that I got online, but they're untrimmed, which means you have to cut them to size, you have to fit them, you have to put all the strapping in. I did all the painting, all the weathering, all that stuff. I did all that for both of these costumes. And then that was my sort of dipping my toes into the Star Wars universe, because I'd always been a fan, but I never thought I could create any of the cool costumes. And then I got onto the forums for the 501st, and I started joining some Facebook groups and finding out which vendors sold the kits that were affordable, and started reading build threads, much like I did with my Ghostbusters cosplay. I did my research. You want good cosplay, do your research, and it saves you time and it saves you money. And it really gives you a better idea of what you're looking for, what you want, and how to plan accordingly for that. That's my biggest piece of advice for anybody who wants to cosplay. Do your research.
Have you had any meetings or meetups with your 501st buddies since being on the show?
Yeah. The pandemic.
And what was that like?
Huge. Yeah, no, it's great. Everybody's really cool. I think initially, and I don't blame people, I think people, when they kind of go, oh, well, he's kind of a celebrity, he better not hope for extra, special treatment. I think there's a little bit of that sometimes, but I don't expect special treatment. I've been offered like honorary membership into the 501st and the Rebel Legion, but I've declined that because I want to earn my way in. I want to earn my way in. Rebel, and those are really generous things, and those are really, really lovely, and I would take them, except I want to earn my way in, because I've got the stuff built. I just need to submit it. And so for the 501st, I joined like back in, I think, September of like 2018? 2018, and I submitted my first costume, which was a TIE fighter pilot. and on my Instagram page is the picture of it, and I got it. That was a long process, but I got accepted into it, so I'm really, really happy about that. And there's more of a sense of accomplishment when you feel like when you actually earned it, you've put the work in, and they've done it. So I really enjoyed that. And so, but everybody in the 501st has been fantastic. They've been great. That was just this Halloween. This almost killed me.
What you're opening right now.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's the Remnant Scout Trooper. I thought that scene with Jason Sudeikis and what's the other actor's name? He's hilarious too. He was in Iron Man 3. There's a guy that was a big Tony Stark fan. They were fantastic.
Remember that scene in the base when they all the speeder bikes come out of the base?
Yes.
And chasing them down the hill, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so badass. And then the two of them bump into each other in the rocks, and one of them blows up. And I'm watching, I'm like, that looks like my kids like trying to both fit through the doorway at the same time, and they run into each other, and they're just like, what are you doing, man? I'm going first. Like, why would they do that?
Real world, man. Real world consequences.
I guess they made it really realistic that way.
And so that's my Hoth cosplay. And it's not like I don't have the ejection harness on it, just because I didn't want to trip, because we were banging pots and pans for the frontline workers. We did that for 6 weeks.
Oh wow.
Pandemic. Every night at about 7:30, we go out on our porch with the rest of the neighborhood, and we kind of led that tradition, and we banged pots and pans for 2 minutes to support the frontline workers and everybody at the hospital. We live close to Michael Garron Hospital in East York, the heart of East York. I'm a proud East Yorker. They do stellar work at that hospital, and they're really, really going through the grinder right now. So we wanted to show our support to them. So I would dress up in cosplay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to just sort of cheer the neighbors up.
That's very cool. DK says 95 thumbs up. Let's get it to 100. Yeah, when we get to 100, I'll give another. This is another item sent over by Hasbro. Thank you very much for you guys and the stream. This is a Star Wars Black Series. Everyone's fan favorite, Jar Jar Binks.
There is love for Jar Jar. That was like, for a generation of people, that was their Star Wars growing up. I think a lot of us old farts forget about that. A lot of us who want to be dismissive of like Jar Jar and that whole thing, it's just like a whole generation of kids grew up watching that and loving it, which is fair because Star Wars is for kids too. I mean, primarily. So I think as annoying as Jar Jar and as culturally offensive as he might be to some people, I mean, Ahmed Best, I mean, he did what he wanted to, like, I mean, he did his best. I hate having to say that, but he did his best with it. And I don't think that was anybody's intention was to offend people. So that I know adults who absolutely adore Jar Jar Binks.
All right. Well, when we get to 100 thumbs up, that's going to be the next giveaway item. I have the answer already sent to the moderators this time. Star Marvel 76, thank you very much. He says, this is better than the Tonight Show. Congrats. Wow. I got to get my hands on that Scout Trooper with child. That is what do you think of that Scout Trooper, Paul?
I'm just looking at it right now. It's got a great weight to it. I like that it's on the base. I'm looking at the paint job for it too. It's pretty cool. I have to say the bag with the child in it with Grogu. You can close it if you wanted to. It's got little hole pegs, so if you wanted to cover up Grogu, you could. Otherwise, it stands straight up. It's very accurate to the show. I'm just looking at the head doesn't. Oh, there it goes. The weathering looks a bit brown though. Just looks a little bit brown. Navarro is a volcanic planet, and so it's got to be. I mean, this is the cosplayer in me. So you're kind of going, oh yes.
The attention to detail.
It's good. Yeah, even the knee pads are upside down, which is perfect too. So.
Right. Yeah. I think I've seen that commentary online.
And apparently that's ruined it for a lot of people because the knee pads were upside down. No, that makes me laugh because it's like everybody's doing their best on the show. I think the thing is people lose sight of the fact that A lot happens on a television series, a lot, and there's so many details that everybody is working hard to get, and the intention is to get everything right.
Right.
But the reality is sometimes shit passes by and they don't mean to, and they kick themselves for it, and like, oh. But at the end of the day, if somebody's knee pads are on upside down, it shouldn't ruin the experience of an entire television series because of that. And I know people, they care, but it's just like, it happened. It happened. You got to let that go. And
hold on 1 second. I have something to show you.
Okay.
It pertains to this topic that we're on right now. I hope I don't drop it. I actually found this model, which is quite ridiculous. The Mandalorian did have one mistake this season.
Oh, I love it. Is this what I think it is?
Admiral Blue Jeans, they've dubbed him, where part of the extra or crew was in the background. Someone modeled this, Paul.
Yeah.
It is part of a wall.
Yes.
And there's a full guy standing behind it.
That's
and you can
awesome.
see just his arm. And
does he have the watch on his arm? Does he have a watch?
I'm not sure. I might need to print it larger, but I saw this one day and I'm like, yeah, I'll waste 3 hours printing this because it's hilarious. And here we are.
Somebody mocked up a Black Series Admiral Green Jeans or like of that with the box. And I thought, oh my God, but this also goes to show you how insanely scrutinized these shows are now.
I didn't even
who has the time to go through frame by frame of every bloody scene? Well, somebody does because somebody caught it, which is great. Same with the Starbucks coffee in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, wow, how did we miss that? Like that yeah.
More egregious.
But I mean, the guy, like, a lot of us didn't notice it at first. And it wasn't until somebody went through frame by frame that they spotted this. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, how could they let that happen? It's like, well, you know what? Millions of people missed it as well. And if you're looking at the background in the middle of an intense gunfight, that's not, I mean, they're bigger problems than some stagehand.
Because they were shooting their way out of the base. I wasn't looking at them. It was a crazy scene.
That's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. This sculpt is fantastic though. And I like it. It's very it's solid too, which is great. It's really solid. And now I don't think I need to buy the Sideshow collectible $9 million version of this. They have the Sideshow Collectibles has the their sculpt of it. It's almost exactly the same. Well, I mean, it's far more detailed. I think it's a Hot Toys version of it on Sideshow.
And the knee pads are the right way.
No, I think they are actually the wrong way because they have to be accurate. Because hey, it's canon now. It is.
I mean, one trooper who was lazy, he was rushing out, and he put his knee pads on backwards. It happens. You put your gear on. Rich M, amazing stream. Kevin also does a great cosplay as a Naughties
clubber. Toy Migos.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that word is, but that was a ridiculous joke on another stream. Shout out to the Toy Migos. Thank you very much, Rich M, for watching and noticing that detail.
Oh, I'm gonna go get those custom made figures.
Please.
I'll be back. Hold on.
I'm gonna save this because this is for Paul. So Paul's gonna go grab some stuff. How's everyone doing? I hope you are. That's not me. Hope you are enjoying the stream. I'm here with Paul from The Mandalorian and Kim's Convenience. We are just two guys hanging out, opening some toys. I hope you're having a good time. Thank you, everyone, for the generous super chats. All of that goes towards helping the channel, whether it be a subscription or upgrades to the equipment here, and also, shipping for these prizes. Like I got some more stuff to give away, so all the super chats and all that stuff goes towards those costs for you guys. So thank you again. Julia at Hasbro sent some really cool stuff that I'm going to open as well and to share with you guys also. There's going to be more giveaways. Shout out to DK and Jack, who are my moderators tonight, to keep the troublemakers at bay. They're going to keep me apprised of when the next giveaway is. 121 thumbs up. Bruh, you're supposed to get at me at 100. I take back my no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna take back my compliments. These guys are doing a great job. And I love them. Those are my brothers right there. So we are at 121. The question relates to Paul on the Mandalorian. So I'm gonna wait for him to come back. He is back, and I've just been rambling this whole time.
What I miss?
Just me talking to myself like an idiot, which is any other day of the week. Major reaction. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. He says, "Hey Paul, my family and I were late to the show, but we all loved it. It's so awesome to see that you are a fellow collector." Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Do you just do Star Wars, the stuff that you collect?
No, I have other things. I'm getting into the NECA line. I'm getting back into NECA. Like I was telling you before, NECA actually procured a lot of the rights to the stuff that McFarlane had the rights to earlier on, like the movie Maniac series.
Okay.
And so a lot of pop culture stuff, like I collect RoboCop figures. I've got the Ed 209 up there. Pacific Rim stuff. Every once in a while, if there's a Jaeger that's about. Right now, I'm looking for the Cherno Alpha. I think it's the 18-inch, the gigantic one. Like I have Gypsy Danger back there that's been all bashed to crap because my youngest played with it. Which is cool. But the Cherno Alpha, there's something about that design, that old school sort of Soviet era. Like if the Soviets built like a Jaeger, of course it would be like that. There's also I just got into these great figures. What's the name of the company now? But from the movie They Live, with the John Carpenter movie They Live, with Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David in it. And if you haven't seen it, it's like this really great 90s sort of subversive movie where aliens have infiltrated human society and they hide amongst us. And
Oh wow.
he discovers them quite by accident by wearing a pair of polarized glasses, and you can see what they look like in real life.
Oh wow.
And they're slowly draining the planet dry. And so there's a human resistance that's trying to to sort of unveil them or yeah, no, it's great. It's great. And it's like, when you have these glasses on, you can see stuff where it is. So like the money, dollar bills have like the writing, the subliminal message, "This is your God." Have like signs that say "obey." It's really, really cool. And it's probably got one of the greatest fist fights in the history of all cinema in that movie. It's like a 9-minute tour de force. Fantastic. It tells a story. It's got humor in it. It's great. So anyways, there's a line of dolls, not dolls, like action figures of it. I'm going to go grab them.
It doesn't offend us.
I'll go grab them, but they're the fabric of the aliens themselves. I just ordered through, is it Shout Factory? Yeah, it's through Shout Factory, the They Live 4K release of it, with the collectible Keith David doll, which is like Shout Factory has some really, really great collectors packages there. So that's Toy Migos came here to kick some ass and chew some bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum indeed.
All right, so that's on my next movie to watch. After last week, I had to watch The Last Dragon, which my guest from last week was talking about, and I hadn't seen. So this will be next.
Yes. Oh no, it's great. It's really, really sort of one of my favorite movies from the 90s for sure. So I'm getting into that. There's a release of Jaws is one of my favorite movies of all time as well.
Okay.
So I've got the McFarlane toys. There's a diorama of the Orca. That's the ship that they go after Jaws in, and it's sinking, and it's got Bruce the shark breaching the water, and there's a little Quint action figure that you can stick, like you can pull his legs off and stick him in the shark's mouth. Alien stuff, I love Alien and Aliens. There's the NECA 40th anniversary of Aliens. I think the 4th wave is coming out. I missed the boat on that one. I missed the first 3 waves, and I'm kicking myself. So those are my grails. I'm trying to seek them out. I can see some on eBay, but they're super expensive. And part of me is like, do I do it? Do I not? I don't know. But I've pre-ordered the next wave of things, and it's like Parker and Brett Parker and the big chap alien. There's also Lambert in the spacesuit, Ripley in the spacesuit at the end, and another alien version. Yeah,
Sweet.
there's Back to the Future, same thing. The NECA stuff.
It's coming out soon.
Yeah,
in
yep.
Canada.
So yeah, it's been released in the States. So I was actually able to procure a few of those for Andrew Fung because he's a huge Back to the Future fan, and so for his birthday, I got him the Marty McFly and the Biff Tannen.
That's super cool. Yeah. I know in the US it's widely available and just waiting for
The
those.
US, man. I got friends in California that are kind of like they get the stuff from me that I can't get up here, and they'll ship it up to me. So for example, Steelbook, 4K Steelbooks. I collect movies as well, right? I love physical media. I can't, streaming bugs me because they haven't perfected it yet. And if anybody's ever suffered a drop in quality, pisses me off.
Right.
It's like, come on, we're in the 21st century and you can't stream this, forget it. And digital stuff bothers me just because if the internet goes down or whatever, you still don't, if you look at the fine print, you don't own that digital copy. You paid for it.
Yeah.
It's in your computer, but you don't own it. If I buy a disc, it's mine.
I believe you have the right to stream it whenever you want or something like that.
Exactly. And I don't like that. It's like, I got a physical disc, it's me. So if the internet goes down, I can just pop a movie in and it doesn't matter. Whereas, if you depend on streaming, you're boned. Like
I wanted to ask right when you said it. It's like streaming bothers me. Catch Paul now on Disney Plus and Netflix and CBC Gym. Oh, Christine, thank you very much. She says, great stream, Kev. Hi, Paul. Thank you very much, Christine. Thanks for tuning in. So I was going to wait for you to come back for the next trivia and giveaway.
All right.
So after I type go again, this time the mods have the answer. I'm going to type go, and then you put the answer. Okay. So the question is, when Paul was on the set of The Mandalorian, whose helmet did he get to wear? And like he mentioned earlier, I'm going to type go right now. Remember, these are props and other things that were from previous movies that are reused. So the mods are on it right now. They're going to watch that. And you have some customized heads of yourself or figure?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the first one here, this is from a local artist. His name is Jason Liu. He's a Toronto artist. He is a fantastically skilled comic book artist, and he had his own series called The Pitiful Human Lizard, very Toronto-centric sort of superhero. And he made this custom. I think it's 3.5 inch, but it's the detail on it. Oh my god, is just absolutely gorgeous on it. Like he captured the likeness, and then he put it in a bubble wrap. And he dropped it off for me. And there's a Loth cat in there, and he's actually done a really great sort of job of recreating the helmet that I wore for the actual episode 2 of The Mandalorian. And it's great. I'm just trying to think right now. I'm just looking at the details. Yeah, like this is. I mean, and he's got the text on the back, which is really, really cool. But this is really nice. Like this is a fan made figure of me.
That's really cool. There's an eBay seller called Watto's Scrapyard, and he has two different Carson. Is it Carson Teva or Teva?
Hey, it's like, is it Han or is it Han? Right. I love that. Leia or Leia? Princess Leia, Princess Leia.
Right.
Yeah, it's. I find myself, I say Teva, but I've heard people. Sometimes I say Teva.
But you're him.
Yeah, I know. I need to decide. I think it's Teva. And it's
Obi-Wan. Like, of course I know him. He is me.
It's me. Yeah, Carson Teva. Teva. I don't know. They didn't even come up with his name, his full name, until months afterwards. And Dave actually texted me. He said, "What do you think about this name? What do you think?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, what are you asking me? That's awesome. I'm like, "Yeah, I made this joke." It's like, you could call me like Carson Garbage Knocker. That's fine. Right? Like, I'll take it. But the fact that they cared enough, or they were, I mean, that's a tremendous honor when they say, "Well, what do you like?" They ask for your approval for that. It's such a magnanimous gesture, and it shows just how much they care. about people's involvement in it. And so I was like, yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much. And this is what he joked too. I said, thank you so much for giving me that choice. He said, hey, we have to know what to name your action figure, right? Like this Dave, he's joking though, right? So, but I don't know.
Or is he?
Or is he? That's it. I mean, they did the scan.
Oh,
Like,
you
going
can
in,
too.
yeah. They
Oh
in
my
costume, full costume, like, okay, we need you, and they bring in this special trailer. I'm like, what is this? And it is like you're standing on this pedestal, and they have banks of cameras all around you. And I was like, what is this for? Like security? And they're like, no. This is in case they ever want to make an action figure of you. It's like, oh my God, my big fat ass.
And then did you say why in case? Just do it now.
No, I just, I was like Cinderella at the ball. I'm looking around going, oh my God, this is amazing. Like every step of the way was just so next level. And it was weird because they made me wear a cloak over my costume.
Okay.
It's because they have paparazzi, like with telephoto lenses.
Oh, that's true.
And they don't want spoilers of, people leaking images like, oh, so-and-so was in an X-Wing costume. So we know X-Wing pilots are going to be like, that's how they want to, they do it.
When your voice came over the comms, it didn't sound like you. Like there was no indication that it was you. And then the moment they cut to you on the screen, I was like, oh my God, is that Papa? And then it was just like, that was I'm so glad that they kept that a secret.
Well, it was cool because they put it through the electronic filter, right? So it sounds like it's being broadcast, so it's not clear with my voice. It's like, I'm sort of talking like this. But I remember when they dropped the second trailer for season 2, and it starts with this string going me, and then you hear it's my voice. Razor Crest, stand down.
That's right.
I was like, I freaked out because holy, that's me. That's my voice. That's me. And nobody knew it. Even my kids were like, no. It's like,
your kids didn't know.
My eldest, he was like, that's Dad. Like right away, he knew. My youngest, like, no, it's not. Because they washed it through, but that was like, that's my line. That's my dialogue.
Okay, but they had no clue that you were in it then.
No, they knew I was in it. They knew I was in it, but they didn't know that was my dialogue. Like I didn't share the script with them. I didn't tell them. Like they knew I was going to be in it, but I didn't tell them what I was doing in it. So that was nice.
Speaking of the Razor Crest, did you back the Star Wars HasLab Razor Crest?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was one of the lucky few. I got in on the ground floor on that. And it wasn't even a question. Like I couldn't click fast enough on the support thing because I was so afraid of it going, oh, sorry, it's sold out. Like I wanted so bad like that sculpt and all the things they're really knocking it out of the park with their vintage collection vehicles. I have and I'm saving it for my unboxing. There's it's a Red 3. It's big Darklighters X-Wing that I got from I bought third party through eBay. So I'm going to open up the X-Wing. And I got the Slave 1. Boba Fett had he had a cool ship too. So lame bounty hunter, cool ship. So I got that.
Oh, I kind of thought it was lame because he has to land it sideways. So I always say that like if he had to go get some drive-through and he has to like shuffle in sideways like putting a pizza in the oven, and then like his chicken nuggets and soda would just spill all over himself. It just didn't work. And they fixed that season.
Yeah, but they kind of fixed that. I think that was always. I remember seeing specs for it, like plans for it, and where they had that rotating thing. Where it makes sense, right? Like it's not like the 1970 U.S. space program where they had to climb the capsule like that, right? Like,
we have a very generous super chat from Jason, who is also the winner of the previous trivia question. He answered Biggs Darklighter correctly. He says, Paul, what was your favorite Kenner Star Wars toy as a kid?
Millennium Falcon, hands down, the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. I didn't get it. I didn't get the X-Wing or the TIE fighter or the Darth Vader's fighter. I really wanted those ones, but I got the Falcon. And so for me, that was cool because everybody could ride in the Falcon. And it was hilarious because my mom could not pronounce Millennium Falcon to save her life. She'd say Millennium Falcon. That's how she would say it. And I loved hearing her say Millennium Falcon. And it was just like, what? It's not even close. So I have that memory deep, like close to my heart. My mom trying to say Millennium Falcon. So that is my favorite Kenner toy, Star Wars toy.
That is awesome. And that's what I love about collecting now. It's the other day I got from NECA Krang from the Ninja Turtles, the giant robot body.
Yeah.
I've never had that as a kid. I had other Ninja Turtles, and I'm very grateful. I'm an only child. I got super spoiled for sure, but I didn't have that one. And like now they're remaking this stuff for people, from that who grew up with that stuff, and I'm able to get it now. I'm like, this is so cool, man. I never had this, and like, so hopefully, people, they keep remaking some of these other ships that you get. They do make them in 3.75. A lot of the
yes
different vehicles. I think it's much easier for them to do that,
and they're still massive. Like that's to scale. Oh, I have like the snow speeder, the Black Series snow speeder in there as well. Like I've got boxes of vehicles, and my wife's like, "You're gonna open those, right?" I'm like, yes. It's like good because you can't buy anymore until you start.
Oh no,
because it's just boxes of stuff. So, and I also have the Millennium Falcon, the Galaxy's Edge version.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, the big one. So like,
Right.
gigantic, and like thinking, I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I don't know where I'm gonna put them.
I have this Legacy at right behind me. It's like the size of a small child there.
Yeah.
And it's missing some doors, but I got it from a trade, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I wanted to get the Razor Crest, but I kind of missed. I was like, I don't really do that scale, and I had just gotten the Sentinel from the Marvel HasLab, so I just kind of I couldn't really do it there. How did you feel when that thing blew up?
Well, that was the real tragedy. Like that episode is we were like, yes, Mando, and then the title card, the tragedy. We're like, oh no, and it wasn't baby Grogu being taken away by the Dark Troopers. The real tragedy was a Razor Crest getting blown to smithereens, and I loved how it's gone. And like the last episode wasn't, here's a shiny new Razor Crest like they did with the Enterprise every single time. It was like, oh, we love the Enterprise. Here's the NCC 1701B. It wasn't like it's an old ship. It's a garbage ship. They're not lying around. It's Imperial surplus, and they're antiques almost. And that's why I like. It's heartbreaking, but I'm kind of glad. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what the next ship will be like. And
I had a prediction that it would blow up the week after the HasLab ended, and then they would push maybe like a Slave One the year after. So we'll see what's going on. Well, they might, because there's the Book of Boba Fett coming.
Yeah,
maybe
they just released the vintage.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Slave One, right? So it's like, I don't know. Sorry, I just remembered too. I have 2 other minifigs that were sent to me by a fan in Calgary. His name is Chris, and he
those look amazing.
Yeah, and now these are a little bit more accurate to my body type. I think he took a Jack Porkins body and stuck my head on it. Yeah, and it's really cool too because he wrote on the title card, and we actually met. Camera won't focus on it. We met at Calgary Fan Expo.
Those look fantastic.
His name is Corey Halsey. Sorry, not Chris. Corey. Corey did a fantastic job. And he sent these to me out of the blue, which is, I mean, I'm so blown away by the craftsmanship and the artisanship of this. And these cards are fantastic.
Yeah, they look like actual production toys, or maybe he just glued over them. That's still cool. Laser Pants, thank you very much. He says, sorry if it's been asked, Paul, how long have you been collecting toys?
All of my life. And we were just talking about the tragedy, Kevin and I, of my collection up until when I moved to because I grew up in Calgary, and when I moved away from Calgary to go to University of Toronto, the Great Purge that happened. My parents undertook. Please keep my stuff. And like, yeah, no problem. And the Great Purge happened. And that's yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one. Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan, for bringing up that painful memory again. For the second, first of all, we started off the show with that story. It was like, it was super exciting. Yeah, we're gonna do this. So I lost all my toys when I was a kid, and everyone's just, oh. So thank you, Ryan, for that. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. Thank you so much. Laser Pants is awesome. I'm gonna open this Jar Binks.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous
It's not
box.
Jason, it's a different one.
You're opening Jason's box.
He actually lives close by, so that's awesome. Did you geek out when you were on set, like, try to get people to autograph things for you, or are you even an autograph guy?
I'm not an autograph guy. I try to keep it as cool as possible, even though on the inside I'm like, I'm like dying. And I would love to do that, but at the end of the day too, like, I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And my wife says I have this really great ability to put people at ease. And a lot of that is by not freaking out and just going all fanboy on them. And so I like that. Like, for example, with like my relationship with Dave Filoni is I love it. And part of that is I never talk Star Wars with him. Like, I will never bring it up. If he brings it up, I'm happy to talk to him about it, but he lives it, he breathes it. He gets the last thing he needs is a new friend who's like, hey, and just talking about Star Wars. So that's what I love. We talk about anything but. We talk about like other geeky things, which is awesome. Like like Godzilla and Mothra and all the old kaiju stuff, the Showa era Godzilla. Or we'll talk about hockey, which is amazing. Like, he's a huge hockey fan. He's, grew up in Pittsburgh. And so the Penguins are his team. And so he'll text me and he'll go, ugh, Pens are in tough. I'm like, yeah, man. And so we're just sort of discussing, Jim Rutherford leaving the team. And I'm gonna start texting him and asking him, like, what do you think of Berkey taking over and Ron Hextall as general manager? And it's cool because he knows hockey. He plays hockey. He's a goalie. He plays goal. And another cool thing is, like, he designs the jerseys. He'll design the special night Star Wars evening jerseys for the Pittsburgh AHL team. And and there are little Easter eggs in everything that he does. Like, for example, Trapper Wolf, his droid had a little yellow triangle on it, and that was for the Penguins. And you can't see it unless you're right there. But those are the little nods that he puts in because he's a Penguins fan. Yeah.
Did your droid have a name? A code name?
Yeah. My droid was all green. And at first I said, can we call it OKCU?
Yes.
And they said no. I said, well, why not? I said, well, because it's an R2 unit and all R2 units start with an R. And I thought, I kind of went, well, I wanted to call shenanigans on that because it's like, no, I don't think so. I think there's some
well, actually,
yeah, but I didn't want to do that. I'm like, I'm a guest, don't be nice. So I was like, okay, it was green. So I said, how about can we call it R6GO, right? And the 6 being Toronto, the 6, and GO as G0, which looked like go for the Go train. And because Dave Filoni is a huge fan of the Go train system. He's a huge Go train fan, yeah. So that's really cool too. So I mean, it's not, nobody ever said it, but I was like, yeah, R6GO.
Okay.
And he's got the numbers. If you do, and I remember looking at it because I wasn't sure if I remembered correctly, but when I actually went frame by frame. When we're chasing the Razor Crest through the atmosphere of Maldo Kreis, and it's about to enter that canyon,
right.
There's that shot of my X-Wing, and you can see the droid is green. It's white and green. Same colors as the Go train. So.
Okay. That's actually pretty good detail.
Yeah.
Man.
Are you reading all the comments too? I just realized, there's a private chat, which I was on. Originally, there was nothing there, and I just clicked onto comments. I was like, so everybody, I apologize. I'm so new to this. I'm just now seeing all these. I see hashtag Team Godzilla, Angry Uppa, you're the man. Thank you, Black Hole Comics. Team Godzilla from Adam Gonzalez. And I have Frankie. See, it's moving, and I'm just like, Gojira-san, Ichiban.
A lot of crazy people showing up. Not crazy people. It's crazy how many people showed up to
amazing.
Come check out your collection. Is there anything in your collection or something that hasn't been made that you wish they would make that you want in your collection?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. There's stuff that like old school stuff like that isn't I don't know if it's coming back or if they're remaking any of it, but like again, like we were talking about the Space 1999 stuff, right? Like I always wanted one of those die cast Eagle transports. Because it was such a versatile design, such a great design for it, and they had the die cast models, and I think they were like, can't remember what the scale was for it, but those are absolutely just gorgeously done, and I don't think they're making those anymore. I think there's no demand for it.
Right.
With my 3D printer, I actually printed out an Eagle, which is really cool. And I used because I was using a different type of filament. It was like a more of a silver metallic looking filament, and I liked it so much. I was like, I just left it untreated.
Right.
Didn't paint it, didn't do anything to it. And it looks kind of cool because it looks kind of metallic. But that's something that I've always wanted. It was one of those Eagle Landers. And I'll go on eBay and I'll look and I'll covet. And I go, should I? And then, like it's the whole, can I hide this from my wife? No. So
running out of spots. That's a lot of us collectors with all of this stuff that's being reissued and re-released and like bigger things coming out, they're just expanding. There's a new Thunder tank coming for Thundercats from Super 7, and it's like 27 inches or something like that. It's like where the Sentinel that I ordered is 28 inches tall probably.
Wow.
And some of this stuff that's getting released, you have to find spots to
Yeah.
put it under the bed or something.
And that's all it is. It's just like after a certain point, you just got no space anymore. I mean, I have all these Black Series. I'm gonna turn the camera. Try not to.
Oh shoot!
I'm gonna
make your camera big.
I got all these lightsabers here. I got like 13 of them. And they're stacked up behind each other.
Oh, Kyle says, I worked on that Thunder tank. That's awesome, man. He's the winner of the first trivia. He says the Thunder tank is 27 by 17 by 8.5.
So it's wee. It's like tiny. Oh my God. Look at that. 27 inches by 17 inches?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Speaking of lightsabers, these were also sent over from Hasbro. I think these are new lightsabers meant more for kids. And I think they're cool because when I want to share Star Wars with my kids, they already have some phone lightsabers now that they beat each other with. These are like actual characters.
Yeah. There's a Rebel pilot. Is that Luke?
Luke. And there's an R2, and then they just flick these. So these are super awesome. Oh my gosh. There's a Vader.
Nice.
With a red hilt, and
they look like giant toothbrushes. Or like
I would love Star Wars toothbrushes. Don't you ever see kids merchandise and think, I wish they made that in an adult size?
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Yes.
Pajamas.
Yes. Sheets. Well, they're only in single size. They don't make king size. Like we have a king size bed, right? So it's like, I'd like a pair. I'd like some Star Wars sheets.
Like everyone had those Star Wars sheets, or I had Ninja Turtle sheets growing up.
I had Looney Tunes. Those are my favorite ones.
Looney Tunes, nice.
Yeah, old school Bugs Bunny.
What I've always thought was super cool was that, well, for me, I'm always like, oh, you know what? This costume's super cool. I want to make a cosplay. And then I'm just like, man, what am I doing? I'm like 30 something years old. I'm not going to start cosplaying now. And then I see you're like, and that's just in my head. And then I see you're like, oh, I just made this proton pack. And then I'm going to go full out, the whole Ghostbusters cosplay and now all the crazy Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
That's really, I just wanted to tell you, that's really cool. I might start printing more stuff using the printers.
Oh man, the world is your oyster. With that printer, you could fabricate, like there are files out there where you can print Mandalorian armor. You could print, like, what size printer do you have?
305 by. I print this in one go.
There you go. Yeah. So there you go. All you need to do is put some padding on it and get it to zip properly, right? Put the visor in. But you can do that. You can. There are files out there for full Mando armor.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. In Imperial armor, you can do any bit of any. It's all up to you. It's all to, you know, what you want to build. You just need to reinforce it so it doesn't shatter. But so it's a little bit more durable. But I mean, PLA is pretty strong to begin with, anyways, right?
Yeah.
You just got to work in that flex. But man, I find it really artistically fulfilling, and it's so not acting as well. Like when you're building, putting together a cosplay, it's using a different part of my mind.
Okay.
And there's the end result too. It's like when you get kitted up, and you know, I don't go out all the time. I wish I could, but like, you know, that's why holidays like Halloween or special days like Ghostbusters Day or Star Wars Day or different events where you can dress up a little bit. That's why I love being in the 501st, because you're trooping for charity. You're showing up at all these events. You get to wear your Star Wars cosplay. You make people smile, and you're raising money for like children's hospitals or Make-A-Wish Foundation, all those things. And the people are really great. So it's and seeing people's reactions too. Like I put on my proton pack and my costume. I go up and I light it up. People lose their minds. They're so happy. They love seeing it, and
Right.
it's great. I love that feeling of bringing that joy to people.
I think one of my favorite stories that I've ever heard, and I like the moment I heard it, I went to tell my fiance, like, "This is so hilarious," and she's like, "Yeah, that's great." It's how your cosplay experience helped you or helped out on the set of the Mandalorian with some of the props and the costumes.
Yeah, that was really cool. And talk about, I mean, it was so surreal, anyways. Like because I landed in LA and right away, like they took me to get fitted for wardrobe because I was shooting the next day, and they had the wardrobe department led by Shauna Trippick, fantastic. I think she just got nominated for by the Costume Guild for an award for her work on Mandalorian, and deservedly so. So they custom tailor made the flight suit for me, and the flak vest, the little white part, was from Rogue One. The chest boxes were from Rogue One. Now that's my own. So yeah, so the white
Right.
that this is my own stuff. It's not what I wore on the set of Mandalorian, but it's pretty much it's very similar. So you can see I built the costume. Now there's a variant here because that jacket that I'm wearing is actually for Hoth, and we
Right.
didn't use for Mandalorian. But so they had the flight suit, and it's unfortunate because in this picture I'm not wearing it either. But they have an ejection harness, which are gray straps that run down from the white part down and are through the legs. And the two wardrobe people that were putting together the costume hadn't constructed the ejection harness yet, and they were working off this reference photo from a book called "The Costumes of Star Wars: The Original Trilogy," and it's a horrible photo. Because it was set up in the 70s or 80s by publicity people who just threw it on a mannequin, and just
Okay.
because nobody thought it was going to be used as a reference picture of how the costume was built. It was like, here's an X-wing pilot costume that was used in the movies. That's it. They didn't care about accuracy. But unfortunately, that was what they had, and so they were having trouble trying to figure out how to get these loops constructed and made. And it was funny because they were also saying, we're actually big Star Trek fans, not Star Wars fans. And I was like, that's cool, man. Like, this is a job. I get it.
Yeah.
But they're having trouble. And I said, hey, do you mind? Like, I don't think this goes there. And they're like, oh, no. According to the picture, it does. I explained to them how shitty a picture it was. And I explained to them why the cosplay world kind of hates that photograph because it really is not helpful. But I also said, hey, look, I actually built this costume. And on my phone, I actually have meticulously curated photos of my build. Do you want to use them like reference photos? And they're like, yes. And so we walk through they look at the pictures. So this is how it connects here. And I use a Velcro tab here and a Velcro tab at the back. And you can have the slider here. The legs are stitched here and here. And they're like, okay, great. And it was fantastic. And I thought, this is so cool. because I'm using the experience and the knowledge I gained from all the other cosplayers whose builds I researched and saw, and able to help out these professionals build an accurate costume for me. Like, that was just so full circle. It was so amazing. And that's as well, like when I got a chance to put on Biggs Darklighter's helmet, because at the end of it all, they got everything sort of pinned together, and they said, okay, well, we need a picture of you for reference, but we don't have your helmet, your actual helmet, because it's being painted right now. So use this instead. And they pull out a Rubbermaid container, and there's this helmet in there. And I'm like, oh my God, is that what I think it is? That's Big Darklighter's helmet? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? And I'm a nerd. What do you I know. I said, is that actually the helmet that was used in the movie? And they're like, yeah, because all this stuff gets passed down, right? Like, so we had costumes from Solo, we had costumes from Rogue One, we had like stuff from all the different whatever they had lying around, and it was there. And I pick it up, and it's got the name Garrick Hagon in there. I'm like, oh fuck, it's his. And they said, put it on. I started to cry because it's like Star Wars was the first movie I went and saw in the theaters with my dad and my sister, and I wasn't expecting them to wear that helmet. To actually hold a piece of my head, like something that I saw when I was 5 years old.
Yeah,
in my hand, put on my head. Who gets a chance to do that?
That's amazing.
Star Wars, like a Star Wars series. It was incredibly emotional. My time there.
And yeah, like Ernie said, that's beautiful. And I think that was part of the joy of when I first saw you on the screen for The Mandalorian, because I know like you're a huge fan of it, and to know that like you got, like, I don't even know you, and I don't mean that like I didn't know, obviously didn't know you, but I'm just like, man, that guy, he loves it, and now he's in the show. Like, I could have been more happy for someone that I didn't know.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
It was really cool to see that. And especially when it's Biggs's helmet. Biggs. Yeah, it's Biggs's.
Would be. Or I guess properly you could say Biggs helmet.
Yes.
Proper English.
Were you a fan of the Clone Wars? Were you following all of that too?
That's how I knew Dave Filoni's name.
Right.
I mean, it took me a while to get used to the form, just because it was like, danger in the old Republic. It had that serial. I wasn't a huge fan of it at the beginning, but then it kind of dawned on me that it's a perfect way to skip a bunch of exposition and just dive right into the story. I mean, the old serials, it was just like, boom, you just dropped in with a minimal amount of backstory. I mean, it's all just narrated there, and it grew. I mean, the series really did, in terms of the scope, the complexity of the characters and the stories, was just, as it became more Filoni's, it really started to get, it really took off. And I think, Dave is a genius for that.
I think I speak for myself and a lot of collectors and a lot of fans that I've interacted with, that like the direction from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for Star Wars is like probably some of the best stuff in the longest time.
Yeah.
The best direction.
Well, I mean, they show you that there can be, you can have stuff for everybody in a series. It's first and foremost the great storytellers, but they're also fans. You can tell they're fans of the franchise.
100%.
But they are not beholden to the whims of all of everybody in fandom who's screaming and shouting for certain things. And I think that's kind of what happened. It fell apart for the sequel trilogy, where they tried to be bold in the direction with The Last Jedi. Everybody hated it. Well, not everybody. I liked it, but a lot of people hated it because it was like, you can't treat Luke Skywalker that way. How dare you give us something different for Star Wars? Ah! And then for Rise of Skywalker, they boomeranged so far the other way. It just became this really, it came across as a very desperate attempt for validation from the same fanboys that hated The Last Jedi. And it was just like, it was a bit of a mess, to be honest. It's like the story was just so, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. It was all over the place. And it was just like cameo after cameo. It's like, oh, look, there's John Williams. It's like, this does not add to the story. It detracts. And it's just a bunch of like, we put this guy in and we'll put this person in. Isn't that cool? Isn't it cool? Like everybody will love that. It's like they'll love a good story instead. And that's what John and Dave have done is they have that level of fandom and geekery where they layer it in. And there's some really deep cuts if you're a fan of the Clone Wars,
Right.
Rebels, if you know the expanded universe, if you know the comics, they've got little throws call outs to those, but you don't necessarily need all that. But it's there if you want it. But
Mhm.
first and foremost, the story. The
Yeah,
story takes focus, and that's what I admire about them. And it all is so it works. It's so synchronous. It all works, at least to me. And that's a win. That's winning. That's great storytelling. Because
for
on
sure.
every layer, you can rewatch it and find little Easter eggs, all peppered all the way through. But it's not beholden to all. It doesn't feel like fan service.
No, it doesn't detract from the story that they're telling overall either.
Yeah,
It's there and it's cool.
yeah. So there you go. And I agree. Word nerd, Rose Tico, she got done dirty by Abrams. Absolutely. I was so pissed because they literally had the Asian character stay behind to fucking study. Did you not notice that? They're like, Finn goes, "Hey, you coming?" And she's like, "No, General Leia wants me to study the plans for the new Star Destroyers to look for a week." Like she actually said that. And that was such a garbagey, cowardly move. That pissed me off so fucking hard. Pardon my language.
And Finn too.
I was so mad. Yeah, and they ripped him like it was so disrespectful and so gutless.
Yeah.
And oh well, we've got all these scenes with Rose and Princess Leia that we're gonna add to. And it's like, no, you guys ditched the character. You ditched the character because you wussed out. And I you know that for me, and that's the thing, like representation in this galaxy, far away, hasn't been the best until recently.
Yes.
Here you introduce a female Asian character who I really quite liked in The Last Jedi. I didn't see that many Asian characters who live. I mean, Shurdimwe, great. Base Malbus, awesome. They're both dead, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. I'd like to see one who survives and isn't like a peripheral character, but you know. And so it was nice to see.
Carson.
Now I've jinxed it. Now I'm gonna be dead. They're gonna say, and it'll be like Poochie, like I have to go now.
Well, you're right about representation. I mentioned it before, and then someone said to me in the comments, "Are like, oh, who cares about representation? This and that." I'm like, okay, that's you. I don't want to hear that. But I was like, okay, if I wanted to cosplay in Star Wars, I've never seen an Asian Jedi.
Yeah.
There's Chirrut Imwe, and I didn't want to cut my hair. And then now there's Carson, and I can't grow this beard. That this facial hair is just exquisite. So there's
a fake beard.
fake from the get a movie prop. So I'm still looking for something.
Well, there was that one Asian pilot in Return of the Jedi. I think he was flying an A-wing, or is it a B-wing? But with the iconic "I'm hit," like there was him. I think that was the first Asian that I recognized in Star Wars. Took till Return of the Jedi. And then let's not forget the original Red 5 from Rogue One, who gets separated from the. It's like, "Red 5, get back here!" It's like, I can't shake him, and it's this guy who looks like me basically, who's chubby but he's got no beard, and he gets blown up. But he's got a whole backstory too. Like if you read, I've got Rogue One, the ultimate, I think picture guide over there. It's great. He's got a whole friggin' backstory. Character,
oh really?
Yeah, like he was a transport pilot who joined the rebellion, and you're like, oh my god! And he got like 3 seconds of screen time, but he's got a whole. Backstory. I love it. Love that. And of course, if he doesn't bite it, Luke's not going to be Red 5.
Cap Lives mentions there's Commander Sato in Rebels.
Yes, in Rebels. Yep.
Kind of reminds me of like a George Takei type character.
Oh, he
had that same voice.
Yeah, didn't George Takei? I think he voiced him.
Is that actually him?
I think so. I thought it was.
That's crazy. Rogue One, though, what a fantastic sequel movie. Well, sequel era movie.
Yeah, prequel sequel.
Prequel.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a prequel sequel.
modern movie in a prequel or in the original trilogy timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we talk about Asian representation in characters, I think right now we're focused on because I'm looking at the comments, and yes, there's some fantastic roles in the animated series. But again, the animated series isn't something that is as widely watched or viewed by the general public
Yeah,
as the movies are, right? Like the movies are more of it's a template, like it's a cult. Everybody, Star Wars fans will watch the Clone Wars and Rebels and all the animated series for sure. But when you talk about actual outreach for people like non-hardcore Star Wars fans, the casual Star Wars fan might not watch or probably hasn't watched the Clone Wars, or Rebels or Resistance. So that's why we're sticking to live action, like actors portraying these characters, and that's the thing. I'm just
do you have more stuff to open,
I do.
or that you wish to open?
I'm just trying to think what I do actually have.
Oh, of course, Fennec Shan. Now she's awesome.
And it was great. And then they killed her, but they brought her back, which is awesome.
Yes,
which was really, really great. And of course, yes, Fennec Shand, who is as kick-ass as they come as well.
and she's Mulan, which is also always fantastic.
The animated version.
Yes.
Correct.
Did you have any did you see any Grogu's on set for your scenes, props?
Not for my scene, but I made friends. Okay, so the assistant props master is an Asian woman named Yang, and she's awesome. And so when she first saw me on set, she was like, Asian, because there are many Asian people. So she was like, Asian. I'm like, other Asian. And so we bonded, which is great. And because I like building props, my first set visit, I spent like an hour and a half hanging out with Yang and Josh in the props. It was like a shipping container. Season 1, it was like a shipping container. They didn't have a proper sort of shop. It was the shipping container. It was cool because they had all the different weapons they were using for the series. So I saw like all these E11 blasters, Mando's pistols. Josh opened up the locker, and I actually got to hold a DH-17, which is, I believe, the gun that the skiff guards used in on Jabba's in Return of the Jedi for Jabba's sail barge on the skiff. They have the guards had this pistol. It's basically like an air pistol with the sights turned upside down, but it still held something that was used in Return of the Jedi, which is pretty cool. And so Yang, she's fantastic. When I was shooting the next season, she was like, "Hey, you want to see something? Come over here." So she was transporting the child, the hero version of it, from one set to the other, and she had it in a in a locked, it looked like she had the nuclear launch codes in it, like the football
handcuffed to her wrist.
Yeah, no, like seriously, they're handcuffs, right?
Wow.
And so she opened it. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And so you want to take a look at it before I take it to the other set? I'm like, yeah. And so she opened it up, and I got to hold him, and it's all like legacy effects. They made this thing beautiful, 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 and it's silicone, and it's soft. It jiggles a bit when you move it. The eyes are so lifelike. They've done a beautiful job hand punching all the hair on the forehead and the ears. It's weighted like a baby, and it's just beautiful. And you totally buy into this is a living creature. So yeah, I got to hang out with him for a little bit and then got put away. And it's just, so I actually, in the back room as well, I bought the Sideshow Collectibles 1-to-1 scale replica of Baby Yoda in the back. And it's cool. Like it's spot on. But the weird thing is it's hard. It's like a hard material. It's not soft and pliable. I was kind of hoping that it would be a silicone because I've actually held the real thing. And one of the other things is too, like the hair, they haven't put hair on the ears.
Right.
But the actual the hero version had hair on the ears. But it's close. It's super close. Like it's, yeah.
That is hilarious. Well, it's like, well, I've held the real one, and this is absolutely nothing like.
It's very, very close. I mean, again, it's because it's a statue and it's posable, but one of the other things, it's not. I wish it had more points of articulation in the arms, and especially because it can hold a little the ball. There you go. Does he have hair on his head?
No, this is a like a plush that talks.
Oh, we have that. I know that sound. So here's an Easter egg for you too. So Yang actually sent me.
By the way, for everyone who's not Asian, that is how all Asian people greet each other when they see them in public. They go Asian. But it's not cool if you say that to us because that's how.
Sent me a deck of Sabak cards.
Oh wow!
For you. So I guess in that episode where Pelimoto is playing Dr. Ant,
yeah,
and she goes, "Idiots run." These are the actual screen use cards, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I think I was just watching that the other day.
Yeah.
She calls him Dr. Mandible or something.
Yeah, Dr. Mandible. But these are like that's.
Oh man, that's so cool. And she gave those to you?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Or actual props from the.
Pays to be friends with the props department. This is great. I mean, and this is obviously stuff that they can reproduce again.
Yeah.
And or they don't. It's not like she gave me a gun or anything from the set. Right? It's like no. It's like well, that's a really cool like that's a really nice gesture that she gave me that. I gifted her some of my merch, and so it was, I just to reciprocate. She got me the Sabat cards, which is really nice. So
yeah, I'm waiting for your next batch of merch to drop. Please let me know when that happens.
Very, very soon. So we got the bitter hats, which is great. This is all new era. Like I like the stuff that I'm selling that we're putting on the website soon is all really premium quality stuff. This hoodie I love. This is like the nicest, and it's my yes, it's mine, of course, but it's got a really nice thread count on it. It's very heavy, it's comfy, it's warm. The branding's it's quite nice. So it's coming soon. And we actually have a really cool limited edition fitted New Era hats. They'll be on the website with the word represent on it.
Oh,
I think that's for me, it means a lot to represent. It's a very personal thing for me. It means something different for everybody else, but I think the core of the word represent is really representing the best of who you are, what you stand for, where you live. It can mean it's so personal, and I think that's in my mind kind of like a great sort of rallying cry. It's just to represent. And so I'm very excited about that. That's my biggest thing. That and because I'm follically challenged and I wear a lot of hats. Like for me, hats are like New Era for me is that's a gold medal standard for hats. I've got at least 30 different hats. And so this is kind of the first time that I've ever actually not the first time. Where I've got branded hats. I mean, that's something I never thought I'd ever do. Like I have to have a personal branded hat.
I mean, there's a lot of I'm sure there's a lot of over the last few years like blank that I never thought that I would do, like being in Star Wars or like you said, having your own branded merch and hopefully your own action figure, which I think yours and Bill Burr's character, I'm hoping get dropped.
Bill Burr, he like his character arc for Mayfeld was incredible. Like I love it. Yeah. Just he's the Han Solo, right? He kind of is, right? Like he's this asshole.
Yeah.
At the beginning. I mean, Han Solo, he shot first. Let's all put that out there. Han shot first, right? Greedo was murdered. Let's be fair. He was murdered. None of this revisionist McClunky crap.
Hashtag McClunky.
Yeah. Greedo was murdered. And that made Han Solo a badass. And that's what made his journey from a self-centered mercenary, somebody who became part of a bigger picture. That's what made his journey that much better. And when they try to fit something, well, he got shot at first. It was self-defense. Is McClunky. That's
I'm gonna have one last thing to open.
All
This
right.
was also sent over. This is a here in Canada Toys R Us exclusive Din Djarin and the Child two
Oh,
pack,
I got one of those in the back. You're gonna open yours. Okay, good.
and I think this is a Target exclusive in the U.S., but it's here. Toys R Us in Canada should be hitting this month. I think it was delayed a little bit from logistics, COVID, and all that stuff, but it should be hitting soon. And
Good.
I have do you have this one already, Paul?
I got it sent up from my mules in the States.
My mules, I love it. See, you really are just one of us. Like you have your people, your
But
friends in the US find stuff for you and send it up. It's awesome.
I gotta. The thing is, for them, it's like everybody's got it on the street corner, right? Like it's everywhere. You go to 7-Eleven, they're selling them there. Here, it's so hard to get because then the scalpers they swoop in and they snap everything up, or if you're not there within nanoseconds, they're sold out. Like I fully expect the Toys R Us website to be sold out within seconds of it being
Yeah.
dropped.
Do you collect GI Joe?
No, I can't.
Okay,
I
that's
can't
good.
go down that whole like Marvel stuff, GI. I can't because I would go bankrupt, and I like already I'm overflowing with Star Wars stuff, and my wife will divorce me, and I don't want to get divorced.
Well, I only bring it up because GI Joe is one of those lines with the same characteristics as you're describing right now, where people are lining up, waiting for stores to open to get exclusive, buy them all out, and flip them in the market later on for like 3-4 times the value, and it takes it off the shelves for other collectors, and just so these people can turn a profit. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
This has a child here. This one has a child that has one non-movable arms, actually. So if you bought the regular single pack, this one is different. It's in a static pose. I still think it's funny that they put feet on the bottom of the child for that detail in case someone ever takes a picture and he's fallen over, like, he has feet there.
But if the feet weren't there, would you be upset? Wouldn't you be upset? Like you go, they didn't even put feet on them. Like it's almost like they can't win. They put feet on. It's like why they put feet on them. And if they didn't put feet on them, they go, they couldn't put feet on them. Come on.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think it's more a little bit ridiculous, but it's funny. This one comes with 5 pieces of the best car, which I think I don't think you get in any other Black Series right now. You get the tracker, I think the beacon, the jetpack where you get in the best car version, and you get the pram.
Yes, the egg pram. Now the jetpack it's got pegs. That's how you attach it to Mandalorian to the Mando.
Yes.
Like is the cape removable? You have to remove the cape to put on the
cape. You kind of have to. I think you can take the head off because I know you can take the armor off, and this has
it's Pedro Pascal's or a version of Pedro Pascal's face. That sculpt doesn't look great. Like the version that I saw. I was like, yeah.
Okay. So in photos, it's not great. In real life, it's slightly less not great. It's kind of hard to see here. I can post some pictures up later, but it's a good thing that you can put the helmet back on, and he is bound by his code to not take it off. I love that. Man, how cool was the appearance of Bo-Katan, the other Mandalorians, and they're getting figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, are the other two getting figures?
Well, Bo-Katan's getting figures. I think they announced that Sasha Banks' character will be getting one in the future.
Right.
I think you have to take this off. The cape.
Yeah, he can wear the cape with the jetpack.
That's okay. I need my jetpack. And that is a Toys R Us exclusive coming out this month here in Canada. So one of the reasons that I thought of this idea, there's two main inspirations for Unboxing Thursdays. One is Jerry Seinfeld does a show called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, where I don't know if there's any new episodes, but they just go. It's just 2 comedians. They go and they chat to go on their way to get coffee, and they kind of hang out. So that's one of the inspirations for this. The other one is I think early last year, Simu did a live on Instagram, and him and his friend were doing Star Wars trivia over the stream back and forth. And I'm like, man, that would be cool to do with my friends one day. And I think you're a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm probably gonna get my ass kicked. I don't want to take up too much of your time because we have been going for a little bit. You want to do a quick round of Trivial Pursuit, first to three?
Okay. I wasn't expecting this.
I think you're ready.
Is this okay? Is this expanded universe stuff? Is this original trilogy stuff? When was this? When were these cards
from? A Black Series set that takes place from prequels, OT, and The Force Awakens.
Okay.
And the last question. Actually, we'll just do one question each.
Okay.
Because I don't want to. You've been very generous with your time. I know you're a busy dude, and we're sitting here opening toys, and you're like, "Here's some questions about Star Wars."
I'm having a blast, Kevin. Like, I don't care. Like, honestly, I think everybody's enjoying. I hope everybody's enjoying this conversation. I know I am.
I know I am.
Like this flew by. Like, I can't believe it's 11:20. Like, I can't. No, honestly, that's a good thing. It like flew by, and that's when you know you're having a really good time.
Absolutely.
Somebody and you just shooting the shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at that, 2.5 hours. Didn't feel like nothing, and we opened toys.
Yeah, and then I usually do that. I go upstairs and my fiance is waiting, and I'm just like, "What year is it?" And she's like, "You were down there a long time." And I said, "Well, I've been having fun."
Yeah.
Pick a number between 1 to 6. That's the question that I'll ask from this card.
5.
5. Which jungle planet do Wookiees hail from? Come on.
Kashyyyk.
Come on. I don't have to look at the answer for that. You got it. 1-0. All right. Choose a number. I'm gonna choose a number for me.
Oh, 3.
3. Who warns Luke Skywalker not to get cocky? Han.
Yeah.
After he shoots down, he's like, "I got one."
Yeah. It's well, I mean, they made fun of it in Family Guy, Blue Harvest. Great kid, don't get penisy.
And I think that line from Horatio Sands when he was like out on that ledge.
Yeah.
Like there isn't even a safety rail. I think that was like a Family Guy reference, right?
Yeah, I think so. Taking a piss.
Number 1 for you. I haven't looked at the question yet. All right. Which creatures do stormtroopers ride during their search for C-3PO and R2 on Tatooine?
Dewbacks.
Easy. I'll answer the first one as well.
I got a Black Series Dewback with the sand.
Oh my god!
Only I could get the Sand Trooper. I bought it off of Amazon. But you know what they did? They didn't put it in a box. They just slapped a sticker on it, and it showed up on my porch with the sticker on it. They might as well have just put it on a sign saying "Steal me."
Yeah,
and they've done that with lightsabers too. Like
no way.
Shipping. What is going on? So now I know you have to mark it as a gift. If
the gift option, that's right.
Then they'll try to conceal it at least, but that's ridiculous. That was,
and it's not even just for the theft. It's like, what if I collect mock?
Yeah,
this is trash.
They don't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's happened to a lot of Marvel Legends and people in Amazon in the US. And it's funny that we bring that up now because being the big nerd and stalker that I am, the first comment you left on one of my posts was a post of mine about Amazon products. And you're like, oh, but will they, it's like, are they going to honor their thing or are they going to cancel your pre-order?
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so poetic. Yeah. It's like, because they do that notoriously. Yeah. People pre-order to a point where my friends are like, well, Amazon canceled on me again.
That's how I lost out on the Mandalorian Beskar edition. I pre-ordered thinking, oh, I got one. That's awesome. Amazon. And then I had so many other opportunities to pre-order it from all these different places. Like, no, I got it on Amazon. They'll deliver it. And then it got canceled. And so when I went back to the other places, all sold out.
Huge company, should be reliable.
Ridiculous.
Did you end up getting one?
Yeah, from the States. No. Who is it? NMC Toys. NMC. North American Collectibles. Yeah. yeah, came through.
Shout out NMC Toys,
Yeah, and
downtown Toronto.
they've done a great job. I mean, they fast tracked not fast track. They're like the Boba Fett Slave One.
Yeah.
Had they couldn't find a box big enough to put it in, but the communication was great. Like I really appreciate that they reached out and say, hey, it's on its way. We just need to find a good box for it, which is awesome.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, yeah. No, they've been fantastic for me. So.
Albert, thank you very much for the generous super chat. He says, "Great stream. We're enjoying this too."
Oh, great.
Beautiful. I've suddenly over the last 2 weeks, I've come to the realization that like I feel like I was kind of doing this for myself, where I could just talk to my friends and open toys and do things. But the fact that I put it out there, a lot of people have been hitting me up and saying, "Hey, man, like you're doing a great job." And I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but I just want to thank everybody that I'm appreciative that you guys are watching. This is crazy to me that this is actually a thing, and I'm sure my parents feel the same way. That it's like, I mean, you brought all my toys over from Hong Kong when we moved. You had to know that this was like deeply rooted. Like this is gonna keep happening. What would you say? I wanted to ask, what would you say is more fun, playing Appa or playing Carson? One side being being a character in this world that you love and you've grown up, versus playing a character who you said like, oh my god, this Appa is just like one of my uncles or like a relative of mine.
That's a tough one. I mean, I couldn't gotten the Star Wars without my work on Kim's Convenience. I think that's a given right there. And I've lived with Appa, the character of Appa, in one form or another since like 2005. So I like for a while. I've been living with him for a while, and I love the character of Appa. But I have to say it's just kind of like, Carson Teva. He's a new character. It's in a universe that I never thought I'd get a chance to play in. I want to explore that world a lot more at this point. Kim's has afforded me a lot of great things, and we've done season 5, which is great. And I mean, at this point right now, it's just like it's a new challenge, with there's that thing, whole thing with Constance Wu when she was I think she went about it the wrong way, in terms of like being upset that she wasn't able to sort of pursue other roles that she wanted because of Fresh Off the Boat, and I think it really came out the wrong way. But I can understand the sentiment behind that of there's a certain at a certain point you're kind of like, I know this character, I've lived this character, I love this character, I can do this character anytime, it feels like. But for a new character, you kind of like, you want that challenge. And yeah, I'm kind of like, I've loved Star Wars my entire life, and now I got a taste of it, and I will pursue that a lot more. And if I ever get the opportunity, for sure I'd love to. But Kim's is always going to have priority in my life, right? Like again, I'm, if anything, very loyal, and I understand like this is what gave me these opportunities, and I would never turn my back on something that gave me such great opportunities.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah.
A friend of mine on Instagram, 796 Studios, is a very talented diorama maker, and he also watches Kim's, and I'm like, man, I need a 1/12 scale convenience store. Like build one, please, because I want one like just for like a street scene. Do you do any, like, you open your stuff, you put it, display it on the shelf? There's a lot of people in the chat here who do toy photography where they like recreate scenes with figures and props. Sometimes they even use a digital screen, like the technology, similar to the Mando technology, where it's a screen in the background. Do you do any of that stuff, or you just enjoy it as is?
I would love to explore that at a different point. Like right now, my plate's full with so much, and I'm just worried about time management. But it's like I see all those posts on Instagram, and I fall down that rabbit hole too. And just at the level of like, I love that too, because that's storytelling in of itself as well. It's a different medium,
Absolutely,
different challenges and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, I think for sure that'd be an amazing hole to explore, something to just sort of go down that road. But at this point right now, I mean, I'm barely just getting my head around. Sorry, excuse me. like unboxing videos, review videos, and whatnot. Like I mean, and that's a whole thing about me starting Bitter Asian Dude Inc., my YouTube channel, was just to sort of celebrate the geeky side of me and explore different facets of it. You know, it started because of the pandemic, because we were trapped at home, and
Right.
wanted a different outlet. And as well, it was one of those things where I just wanted to sort of create, as much as I love the character of Appa, create a separation of myself from the character, because I think a lot of people, and I take this as a great compliment. Yeah, so there you go. See, like all these blogging, all these things that I wanted to start doing. And again, it's just time management for my thing, like just to talk about all things geeky. Like I wanted to post my build threads for my Proton pack and my costume builds, and have all these different threads to post on there. And haven't gotten around to downloading them yet. And the site's like a couple of years old now. I'm taking steps into getting that. I've partnered with Pigeon Row. They do all the social media stuff for Kim's Convenience, and they approached me and said, "Hey, we want to work with you to expand your YouTube channel," which has been great. And so they've taken over the editing process for a lot of my unboxing videos. But I really wanted to let people in on who I was, instead of just Appa, because I think a lot of people, they get shook when they see Kim's Convenience, and then they hear me speak in real life. They go, "Oh, he doesn't sound like him. Oh my God." Or, you know, people see me in the Mandalorian, like, Appa's in space. And it's like, yeah, I'm not. Like, you know, it's that whole, people love me and they love the character, which is great, but soon they just see the character. You know, it's
Right.
like, you know, the Eminem song, Without Me, right? It's like, I've created a monster because nobody wants to see Shady no more. They want, you know,
Oh my goodness.
they want Shady. I'm chopped liver. And I
Oh,
kind of feel like that, because I
oh,
have people
we
on.
want more bars.
What's that?
We need more rapping. We need more Paul rapping, please.
No, but I mean, it's like people say, "Hey, yeah, you should totally be in more sci-fi shows. Like your characters should open up a convenience store,
What?
space state." No, you get stuff like that, and it's
Right.
like, I get it. Like I get it, but there's so much more than
Yeah.
like just because I play I think a lot of it's done tongue in cheek, but I think some of it is just like genuinely. Well, the only way he can get into this universe is if he plays a Korean guy who runs a convenience store in that universe, and it's like, no, there are other ways, right?
My
Like
goodness.
things like that, and it's like, I love it, because it shows that, you know, people are invested in the character and they believe in the character. But it's like, people tweet me and say, you know, I was just waiting for you to say, "Okay, see you," in the Mandalorian. The whole, like, when you walked away, you should have said that. And it's like, yes. And if I had, that would just ruin the dramatic moment in that. Like, it's stuff like that where I get where it comes from. But when
Mhm.
you get literally thousands of people tweeting the same thing at you, you're kind of like, okay, I've heard that joke now like a billion times. It's like when that squirrel went in and stole that candy bar from a convenience store. I think I got that viral clip sent to me 1,000 times. And 1,000 different people said they should totally write that into an episode of Kim's Convenience.
Oh,
I get
they
it.
had a dog run into the store.
They did. They
I
did.
remember. Major Reaction says Angry Appa ACBA. Do you know what ACBA is?
No.
It's short for Articulated Comic Book Art, where basically it's a huge community. So all of these Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Black Series, people recreate scenes, not necessarily comic scenes. They can do anything.
Yeah.
They pose all their figures. They have props and cutouts, almost like in a comic book, with like I don't know, like effects, lighting, and explosions, and all those Batman onomatopoeias and kapows, and recreate scenes. So, you know, hopefully we can see something like that one day with the 1/12 scale diorama. That would be super cool. Sonny says Paul got bars.
But I screwed up the lyrics. I did.
It's okay. It's an older. So I had this idea where my intro would have been me preparing for this,
Right.
but in like a 8 Mile style montage where I'm just like, I've got this hoodie on, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I've got these notes that I've had for you, and I'm just like reading them to myself. And I really wanted to shoot that, but then I'm like, man, I don't think I can use "Lose Yourself" in the background, because, you know, it wouldn't work. I don't have the rights to it. But then I would just make up for it by just saying spaghetti to myself the whole time. I really wanted to do that. but I got the idea way too late. I think I was doing the dishes around 6 o'clock when I had the idea. That would have been perfect. I think I have one more question to you, and then I'm gonna do one last giveaway.
All right.
Number 1 to 5. This one's for you.
All right.
Here we go. Who stows away on Senator Amidala's starship?
Who stows away on Senator Amidala's starship? Stows away. Oh,
Yes.
it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like when she flies to
Mustafar.
yeah.
Are you excited for Obi-Wan, the TV show?
I am because I trust Deb Chow. Deborah
Yes.
Chow. She's an amazing human being, but she's an amazing director. She knows how to direct an action sequence. She cares about story. She's worried about all the right things. I mean, I remember her texting me and us talking about her just with the Mandalorian. She was really worried how fans were going to react to her episodes because she was worried about fans being toxic. Because let's be honest, there's a large portion, or maybe it's a small portion, they're just very vocal, but the toxicity is out there in fandom. And with the rise of the internet and all people being anonymous and creating their own echo chamber of just repeated, it's this whole idea of if it's repeated or retweeted enough times, it must be true. And it can be vicious. It can be really, really vicious. And it's like, really, that's the true thing that's spoiling fandom, what real fandom is, in my opinion. It's just this whole, I didn't like it because that's not what I would have done. And that's it. There's no other way of discussing it.
Right.
I didn't like it because that's not what I would have done. And then that's it. And so many people go, well, that was stupid. I could have done better. And I love statements like that because it's like, could you have? Could you have? Like, then why didn't you? Why aren't you doing it then? Do it. Then you prove it. You do it because it's hard. Doing this stuff is hard. And it's so easy to hide behind a keyboard or whatever and bitch and moan about anything else. And I'll admit, I used to do that too. I go, I was stupid. I was really stupid. I could do better than that. But I wouldn't. It's easy to complain. It's so easy to complain about stuff. But the problem is everybody likes to gang pile now, right? Like it just starts an avalanche of negativity. And I find that doesn't help. That never helps anything, right? So in my mind, I think Deb was worried about all the right things, but she delivered in spades. And they delayed Obi-Wan. They should have been shooting a while ago, but they delayed it because the stories weren't good enough or whatever, for whatever reason. Like, didn't they do massive rewrites?
Yeah.
And again, I never ask Deb about any of this stuff. That's for me, my friendship isn't, so what's going on with Obi-Wan? I don't do that. Because it's none of my business and I don't want to spoil the friendship.
Right.
I feel, I mean, I've known Deb since, oh God, like right out of theater school. That's how we met. It was like, all these years ago, like close to 25 years ago. Jeez, 25 years? Good God. No, 18 years, 18 or 19 years. So close. And so it's one of those relationships where it's like, oh, I'm not going to ruin it by being an asshole fanboy. Right. Same with, I'm not going to ruin it by bugging him about Star Wars. Why would you do that? It's
because I'm sure Dave wants notes from somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man. I'll bug him about Pittsburgh being a shitty hockey team. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll bug him. Like we'll chirp each other about, like he'll chirp Toronto, I'll chirp Pittsburgh. Right. We'll commiserate about certain things, which is great. But like we keep it like, and that's the thing. That's the cool thing about Dave is he's grounded that way. And I don't want to spoil that. I don't want to spoil that relationship.
Oh, for sure. Like I wouldn't come on here and ask you about any Star Wars stuff. Not that we're friends, we're talking, but like I don't want to put you in any position where it's like, you have to avoid this and that. But Obi-Wan is my favorite character in Star Wars. I'm super stoked for this show to come out. And it's the fact that they got Ewan McGregor back, it's like the same amount of time that's passed
Yeah.
from the story and when we last see him. So it sounds fantastic. I can't wait. Deborah Chow went to high school in Mississauga, says my friend Vern. Vern's hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is for the last giveaway. Where did I put it? Well, this is professional.
Kind of a lot's happened though, Kev.
I know. Where am I? What year is this? You know what? I have one more Remnant Trooper.
Nice.
After I type go, and chat and mods, I already have the answer for this. After I type go, put the answer in the chat, and you have to answer both of these correctly. What are the names of Tatooine's two sons? Binary Sunset. While people are here, they're gonna go try and Google that real quick. What have you got going on? Obviously, Kim's Convenience season 5 is going on right now.
Yep.
What are you up to? What do you want to tell the people?
Season 5 started 3 weeks ago. I think the 3rd episode just aired on Tuesday. We're on CBC Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. and on CBC Gem all the time. So if you miss us on Tuesdays, you can catch the episode on CBC Gem. Before anybody asks out there in the world, I have no idea when it's dropping on Netflix. That is invariably the next question is, when is it coming out on Netflix? My best guess is internationally, it usually drops the day after we finish airing the last episode in Canada. So it would be sometime in April in this case. And in terms of in Canada, it's not going to drop on Netflix Canada anytime soon because CBC Gem holds the rights to it and they want your clicks instead of giving it over to Netflix. So if you want to watch it in Canada on a streaming service, you're going to have to watch it on CBC Gem or get a VPN and watch it on like Netflix International like everybody else does. So
get your VPNs, my American friends. Do not miss out on this show, Kim's Convenience. If you don't know it, it is on that seasons 1 to 4 is on Netflix. It's super funny.
Thank you.
Do you? I know. We said I'm like in the beginning of this. You've been doing a lot of serious interviews with like serious. Oh, by the way, Vern's Tattoo 1 and Tattoo 2 are the names of the sons on Tatooine. So thank you. I know Vern. Well, he'll message me. You win. You've been doing a lot of serious interviews. What do you say to people who think a show like Kim's Convenience may like gives a bad not like a bad image of Asians, but like it's stereotypical or like a bad image?
That shows like Kim's would give a negative
image. Not a bad image, but like it's stereotypical. Like
I would disagree with that. I don't think it's stereotypical. I mean, it's archetypical in my mind because stereotypes, I mean, with a stereotype, everything is interchangeable, right? And it's just one defining characteristic. And that's overly simplistic of the Kim family. I think if anything, the Kim family, there are archetypes that are there. And the difference between an archetype and a stereotype is an archetype, that's the beginning base of a character, but then you build complexity and it can expand and be more. Whereas the Kim family, I mean, there's what I don't know what you could argue is stereotypical about them. I mean, I hear, well, because they speak in accents. Well, that's not stereotypical. That's the reality of their characters, right? Mr. and Mrs. Kim immigrated to Canada from Korea while they were adults. They're going to have accents. That's a fact. That's
those
not
are your characters.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. But it's funny because it's like, this is a representation of a specific family in Toronto that happens to be, it's not meant to mean all Korean families are like that. And I think it's an unfair comparison because generally people go, well, you know, they're supposed to be all things to all Korean families. It's like, no, just like one cop show is not meant to represent all the cops. One lawyer show is not meant to, one family sitcom of a white family would never, ever be accused of representing all white families. So why is it that an Asian family has to bear all that? right? There's a double standard that's going on there. So where people want to argue stereotypes, I argue archetypes. And where people want to say caricatures, I would say characters. Um, Mr. Kim is a character that the first time in a long time where I've been able to play a fully rounded character with hopes and fears and faults, and he makes mistakes.
Yeah.
And he's human. He's not a model minority myth. He's not a hyper idealized, whitewashed, watered down, perfect version of a human being.
Hmm.
He's a fair representation, and people can't handle that sometimes. And they look at it, and without really watching the show or they jump into the whole that stereotype. It's like what stereotype? Well, he runs a convenience store. So my parents had a convenience store. Are they stereotypes? You can't say that. You can't say that. So what would not be the stereotype? You know, it's just this weird sort of thing. I think people really try to define the show for what it is. I mean, there were early articles. I remember it was like, "Well, who's Kim's Convenience for?" And it was a really sort of it was from a Korean American who had her nose at a joint over the show, because in her mind, the show didn't represent her family. It wasn't her family. So who's it for? And it's like, well, the response overwhelmingly from people all over the world were, it's for everybody. It's about a family. It doesn't have to be about your family. It's about a family. And I think at the end of the day, too, it's entertainment. It's a sitcom. It's not a documentary. We try to stay as authentic as we can. But at this end of the day, it's not a dramedy. It is a situational comedy with heart. And we've always just tried to make the characters believable. And you know, that's the key in storytelling, is believable characters, characters that you care for, that you want to sympathize with, that you can relate to. And I think the Kim family is extremely relatable. I think a lot of people see a lot of their own families characteristics in the Kim family, and they don't have to be Korean or Asian to get that. Like, we get people from all over the world, from India, from southern United States, from Europe, from England, saying that's my uncle, that's my grandfather, that's my grandmother, that's my mom, that's my brother, and they're not Korean. So it's yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Dude,
It's
beautiful answer.
Thank you. Thank you. But again, it's people who like snap. And I always want to go, what have you actually watched the show? Because people who actually watch the show would pause before they called it stereotypical.
Mm-hmm.
What's like, and my question always is, well, what's stereotypical about it? You tell me what it is. And a lot of times they're like, Asian people? What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Speaking Asian? Like, that's a stereotype? Like, come on. Right? So
I love it. And then it's like, what should they be doing? Something more, I don't know. I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing.
I love it, man. That was the perfect answer. And I love, like, what you said about storytelling on it. It's beautiful. The acting, not like the whole cast is fantastic.
Yeah.
The dynamic between Appa and Janet, there's like, she teaches him a lot of stuff, right? He's kind of like the immigrant dad that comes, and he's learning the different subtleties from another country, another generation, and she teaches him things, and back and it's masterfully done. And sometimes like those scenes with you and her, I kind of relate to it. It's like, oh man, like that's going to be conversations that I have to have with my daughter one day, or tough conversations and arguments. And you give this one look. You can play a badass in outer space, and then you can give this one look right into the camera with like these almost like kind of watery eyes. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, wasn't I just laughing like 10 seconds ago? Like, you guys had a back and forth. You guys were mocking each other or something. And then you give that look when she walks away, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, man, I'm such a softie now. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And that's enough ass kissing from me. But that's if you're looking for any more of that, I'm afraid I'm all out. But it's one of the reasons that I was super stoked to talk to you on here, not just for the toy collecting, which I think obviously it's super cool, and I'm happy to see that everyone not a lot of people knew that you collect toys.
Yeah. And again, and not a lot of people knew I was a nerd and a geek, and I was into cosplay and stuff. And again, that's what the message I'm trying to get out with my YouTube channel, my website. It's just there are different facets of me, and it's not like all of a sudden all of a sudden I'm this. It's like, no, I've always been a nerd and a geek and a collector, and these are things that if I've carried with me for my entire life, and it's a part of me that I want to share. And and again, it's to create that separation from Appa and Paul, because
Right.
a lot of people they're starting to blur those lines a little bit, uh, and I think it's cool too, because I found like using the platform I have was Appa to just sort of let people know who I am is fun, because I love sharing my passions, which are collecting toys and cosplay and sci-fi movies and reviews and all these really cool things, because I think I want to have that, spread that positivity out to fandom as well. I love going to cons. I love doing that. I love having discussions about movies and TV shows. I just love those deep dives, and I love connecting with people who are like-minded. Um, so that's what the YouTube channel is about. That's what, I want to get into podcasting too. I'm loving this live stream, this thing that you're doing. I want to ask you questions about that, because it's like
Thank
this
you, man.
a lot of fun. Like, we're coming up on 3 hours now, and it feels like we've talked for 10 minutes. And
Do you yeah,
I'm shocked.
it's been a blast.
Yeah, there's still people who are commenting, which is amazing. I love it.
It's not for me. I guarantee it's for you. Vern wants to know your YouTube channel. I do have all of Paul's socials in the description because I'm actually prepared today. So his Instagram, the Bitter Asian Dude website, is it Bitter Asian? Yeah, bitterasiandude.com. I believe the Twitter and YouTube channel should all be there. If not, they're all intertwined. I believe there's probably like a link tree or something, right?
Yes. Oh, no, I don't have a link tree, but
Well, I'm gonna go post it after.
thank you. I'm like really out of touch. I'm learning this this stuff. So it's like, yeah, like IG and Twitter, and my own, yeah, YouTube channel, and I have a Facebook page too, but I don't go on that very often. It's so much work.
It is a lot of work,
Platforms, and then
and
everybody's been bugging me.
who has time for all this?
Yeah, and everybody's been bugging me to go on Cameo as well, and that's another thing.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
do
It's
you know which one that is?
Yeah, it's where people pay a fee and you record a message for them, or you do a little Zoom chat with them, or
Right.
they want you to say, "Hey, it's my kid's birthday, or my brother's or my sister's birthday," or they're going through. Can you give them a shout out? And they give you the information, and you talk to them. And I think I used to do that for free. No, seriously, and I run out of time. Like, now, everybody just keeps not inundating, but they're requesting it. I can't keep up with it, and so I can't do it. And then it got to the point where I can't even say, "I'm sorry, I don't do this anymore," because it takes so much time to do that, and that kills me. Like, I'm still doing my own socials. So my Twitter account, my Instagram account, I try to respond. I mean, I try to respond to people. If they direct message me, I try my best to respond. But
You're the
then,
best.
yeah, but it becomes like a 16-hour day, and then I can't spend the time responding to people the way I want to. Um, and so that's
Teenagers do you have?
what's that?
How many teenagers do you have?
Oh, I got one.
Okay,
Yeah,
put them to work.
no, I love him. I don't trust him.
I mean, it should be natural for them to be like, "Hey, can you just? I need to send all of these out at the same time across every platform." And
Yeah, no, but it's the individual. Like, I like people will, and then for Instagram, it's that whole request. People request to message you, and mine is at 99 plus. And I used to try to whittle that down, but now it's like I can't keep up with it, and I feel like crap, because I'm so sorry, I can't. I didn't like, and I'll get like, I'll go through and it's like, oh, this is from 4 weeks ago, and it's like, my mom's really sick. Can you? And I like, that just makes me feel like garbage. I'm like, oh my god, I totally missed that. that this I can't. But I didn't know. Like I didn't know because I don't have the wherewithal to go through this. So I just feel
That-
like garbage, right? And so what I do is like I have to take social media breaks. Like I go, I can't. I'm not commenting on anything. I can't do any of this stuff. I gotta
yeah.
separate myself from that. So I'm worried that Cameo would be like that, except I get paid for it. Like you get money for it. But then that's a weird thing of, well, how much do you charge?
Someone said Kevin Malone from The Office made, was it $1 million last year on Cameo? But then now you're like financially obligated to take that time out and send these
That's if you
send these
accept the money.
right?
And I think that's the thing. You have to accept it.
Yeah.
So, but it's a weird thing. It's like, how do you put a price on what you like? That's the thing. And part of me wants to go, well, because like Ice-T charges like $500. Ice-T.
Right.
And he's got like he's got the 3-minute blurbs. And you can tell he's at the lunch table on set and he's just banging. No, because he's got the examples. He's like, hey, what do you, it's me, Ice-T, and blah, blah, blah. And they're like 1.5 minutes each. And then and they're all the same. But then you realize, damn, he just made $1,500
right
during lunch. On this, and like that's weird. So part of me is like, well, maybe if I make it high enough, people will just go, screw this guy. I'm not gonna ask him for, and then it'll stop. But then part of me is like, well, no, that's kind of like people will go, what, you think you're better than you are? And it's like, well, what am I worth? I don't know. And that for me is like, I don't want to undervalue myself either.
Well, it's tough. I was creeping earlier and you have 77,000 followers on Instagram. It's I can't imagine you can manage the amount of interactions that's going on in there. I did post your channel's link here for everyone to go check it out. The main reason I asked Paul is because I saw he also did unboxing on his channel. He has some Star Wars buckets, some of the high end fancy stuff. He does comparisons as well. So that's why I was like, this is the whole natural thing. This is the evolution, like, and people ask me like, Kevin, how did you get someone from Star Wars? This is amazing. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with me. You are just nice enough that like, and like it has absolutely no bearing on, I wasn't like charming you. I didn't have to like do this. I'm just like, hey Paul, I see you open toys. I open toys. We love toys. And you're just super nice that, it really speaks to your character that you're just like, yeah, let's do it. And when you said yes, I ran upstairs. My fiance was in the bedroom. I scared the crap out of her. I burst through that door like Kramer. And I was like, he said yes. I'm like, she's like, what are you talking about? And so I didn't do anything. You're just super nice. So thank you so much for agreeing to do this, man. This is, not just opening toys, but it's 2 hours and 52 minutes of your time, man.
I had fun. I got something out of this too, Kevin. Like I got a lot out of this too. Like I got to see you unbox and like super fast too, Moff Gideon. Mandalorian Beskar. I mean, I didn't even see, like, we had this discussion before. He just takes it out, no ceremony at all. Just whoop, here it is.
This Darksaber is so cool.
Oh my God. I spent like 10 minutes trying to open the box so I wouldn't crease it.
Do you have a theory of what's going to happen with this Darksaber and Bo-Katan and Mando?
Yeah, no, it's going to be it was just, you looked at it and went, oh no. And I find, and there's been a meme running around too, which is funny, where it's like she was mocking him for not taking off the helmet because it was like, he was following a code, and yet can't take the Darksaber because she's following a code. It's like, okay. But I think I understand it too, because it's not just how she gets the saber. And it was already yielded to her once by Sabine Wren, and she lost control of Mandalore. And so unless she actually wins it, she cannot. There will be always rumblings or dissatisfaction from the course. So I think that's where she's coming from. It was given to her once before, and it didn't work out. She has to win it. So I think at the end of the day, what Mando should have done is just tossed it back to Moff Gideon. Said, here. And then she should have kicked the crap out of Gideon and taken it from his dead body. And
Just
then they all should have said, and this is how it happened. And just leave it at that, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, they're going back to Mandalore. We're going to find out more and more. I mean, the show's called The Mandalorian. We're going to find out about the year of the Night of 1,000 Tears. We're going to see what's happened, and I think it's going to be a spectacular sort of adventure.
Did you think it was Luke who was going to come save them? Did you have your own theories prior to that?
I thought it was me for a second. I saw that X-Wing car. I was like, it's Carson Teva. I was like, I didn't shoot that, you idiot. Who else flies an X-Wing? I'm like, oh, that's Luke. Of course. God's sakes, of course it's Luke. But I love the reveal of it too, because it lands and you see the cloak, and then you see the saber, and you see it's green and the glove, and then it's just like, and of course it's Luke Skywalker. I loved it. I did not. It made sense. I mean, he's the only one who could have saved them, right? Short of an entire army of guys who were just going to get slaughtered, it had to be Luke Skywalker. It wasn't going to be Ahsoka. It wasn't going to be Cal Kestis. It wasn't going to be Ezra Bridger. Once that X-Wing showed up, it could only be one person. And so oh, sorry. Okay, my dog is underneath the table and he's licking himself. So I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, that was an incredible scene. Your answer was actually even better than what that I thought it was me.
I did for a second.
That was beautiful.
That's how swept up I got into it.
Sorry, what's that?
That's how swept up I got into the ending. I mean, it was just like that final episode was just like, and Peyton Reed, who directed that episode, just knocked it out of the ballpark. Directed the episode 2 that I was in as well, and he's a fantastically funny, talented man. It was so much fun on set with him. Just like, yeah, he just.
Dude, that scene when all the ladies were going across that bridge and then they heard troops coming, so the 2 Mandalorians, they fly off to flank.
Yeah.
Dude, I was watching that whole tactic develop, and I'm like, this is insane. So they get like held up and then just bam, 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 flank from the side. It was beautiful.
And I you know what I love too? It was that true sort of that squad of femme fatale, like females, like just badass warriors, without being like that Marvel moments in the Avengers where it's like, we got this, and it was just like, it was cool, but at the end of there's a part deep down, it's like, oh, this feels so staged, and so like, this is the empowerment. Like, it just felt like, and here comes the empowerment moment, whereas that was just like, this is the way.
It was organic on the Mandalorian.
Like, it's totally believable. They'd all been established in separate ways, and they're just part of this team that just went and took care of business. And I love that. I love that about.
They were incredible.
It was executed.
Well, Paul, I've said this many times, but I just don't want to stop talking because this is an absolute delight for me. But it's midnight now. We're both parents, and it's getting late into the hours of the night. But I do want to wholeheartedly thank you very much for agreeing to do this. It's you do incredible work with everything that you do. Collecting toys. I'm at a loss for words right now. We collect toys, we 3D print, we're into the same stuff. So it was super cool for you to agree to do this and to be so generous with your time. Thank you very much. Everybody, Mandalorian, you've seen it. If you haven't, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Kim's Convenience, season 5 is episode 4, you said, this week? That just came out?
Third episode just aired this week. It's a fun one. It was a fun one. A lot of people really loved it. So
my fiance doesn't watch it consistently, but I'm just like, hey, you want to watch it together? She's like, yeah. I throw it on the TV, CBC Gem. She's just able to dive in right there, and just enjoy the entire episode. So it's an amazing show, guys. Please do it. Check it out. I have Paul's socials on the description down here. Thank you, everyone in the chat. There's still 98 people here.
Oh my god,
absolutely incredible.
Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. And That's incredible. Thank you.
Kyle, who was in the giveaway, the first prize, please do message me on Instagram. My Instagram information is down there as well. Shout out to the Butter Nation. Paul, if you have a question about what the Butter Nation is or why I'm the Butter Baron, I'll be happy to keep you up to date on that. It's these guys who are watching, they're awesome and they're also ridiculous, and I love them.
Nice.
Any final words from you?
No, I had an absolute blast. Thank you so much. This time flew by, and that's when you know you're having fun. I'd love to do this again. If you have me back, if people want me back, for sure, we can do some more deep dives into nerdy things. And
Heck yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, this is something that I could get used to doing this. I got a bunch of toys I need to open too. So
hey, don't steal my idea. This
no, we'll do it together. We'll do it together. I'll be again. I would never try to steal your thunder.
No, this is opening toys is not my thing. You're right. Like everyone does it. I want everyone to enjoy it. And here's the thing I've been trying to tell people this week. Even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wanted to do this for myself. That I could talk to you, open toys, and the fact that we've been going this long, it's just been a good vibe. It's just been super chill. But you know, the fact that it's online, people get to enjoy it, and I get to share it with them. Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor. Thank you,
everyone. Thank you for watching. I'm back next week, February 18th, 9 p.m. Eastern, with the cast of the ACBA podcast every Thursday. Okay. So thank you very much. Have a good night. Keep toying around.
One more thing. Okay, see you.
Perfect.